and welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On The Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas, and we're joined by the Dutch Beast, Roelly Winklaar! Yay! Roelly, thank you for joining us, mate.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I love the beard.
Thank you to have you, that you invited me to come here.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure, Roelly, because, I mean, you and me go right back to like 10 years, really, don't we? 10 years now?
10 years ago, yeah, too.
Yeah. So, where are you now? Because the last time I spoke to you, I think you said you were, are you stuck in Curacao? Are you able to fly, or where are you now?
Exactly, I'm in Aruba. I'm stuck in Aruba. I live in Curacao.
Right.
Exactly here for my training. With my trainer from Aruba, Ronnie. The corona things coming and all the airport was closed. I'm still stuck in Aruba and I can't go home. I hope soon I will go back home and so I can go Kuwait so I can start with my prep.
Yeah. So Aruba, is that another one of the islands? Because Curaçao's an island. Is Aruba one of the other islands, or is it? Have you got family there, or why were you there?
It is called the ABC Island, like Aruba,
yeah,
Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire.
Yeah.
It is like 50 minutes flight from each other.
So you can't? Can you get a boat or nothing? It's just everything's shut down.
Can get a boat, but it's all risk because nobody take the risk to go with the boat because same like if you come there, no matter how you come there, your boat will. That they will take your boat away.
Oh, really?
And yeah. It's not allowed to come without just arrive with the boat. It's not possible. That's why I can go back too because I have to go with the plane. It's like 15 minutes flight, and with the boat it's maybe 1 hour.
Yeah. So,
but still, I can go inside.
Okay. So where are you? So are your family all still in Curacao? And who are you with? Is it just you in Aruba?
All my family live in Curacao. I'm here in Aruba for just the training when the Corona started.
Right.
I go to Aruba to train with Ronnie.
Yeah.
I was lucky to have a private gym over here, so I can still training. If I was staying in Curacao, I don't have nothing there, no private gyms over there because Curacao is the same small, but here somebody have the private gym, and I appreciate the corner that I still can training, but I'm still stuck in Aruba.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, so at least you can train because this is the same with William Bonac. He's stuck in Ghana and he can actually train there because I spoke to one of his friends and he said if he was back home in Rotterdam he wouldn't be able to train. So at least you, William, Rami stuck out in Kuwait, not Kuwait, Dubai. So at least you guys, I know obviously you're away from your families, but at least you can still train. I mean, are you managing to train okay?
Yeah, training was okay. It was only thing I'm always away from my family, always travel, right? And it was really not the plan to stay so long, but it happened. Everybody have the same problems, but you can call. I'm lucky that I still can training.
Yeah. So have you got any news about when you can leave and when you can fly back or go to Kuwait now?
No. The airports and everything will open in Aruba 15 June.
Oh, that's 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks, but Curacao will open. Curacao is very strict.
Right.
And Aruba, the people from Aruba live from the tourists.
Yeah.
It's people from outside, and Curacao don't live from the tourists. They don't care the tourists. Yeah. That's why Aruba have to go open because the people need work, and we'll go open 15 June.
Yeah. So when?
Here. But still, I can go to Curacao. Maybe I will go to Netherlands.
Oh, okay. Back to Netherlands. Okay.
Yeah.
So I bet you're. So when would you really start your kind of prep? Because you're qualified. Are you qualified for this year's Olympia?
Yes, I was 5 on Mr Olympia. That mean already qualified.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so well, what did you think about the date being pushed back? Does that help you now that you've got 3 extra months? Are you happy that it's back to December, the Olympia?
You know, I took a very big break because I don't like how everything go last year, and you know, I was feeling really complete on Mr. Olympia. I was feeling very good, but exactly on the show self on the day, it was not very good on the stage, and I think to realize back what's happening and take the rest, because to make everything back on the street, on the track, I need to rest.
I mean, because the thing is, 2018 was such a good year for you. I mean, how you looked at the Olympia in 2018, you took 3rd. And I mean, I've said this to Phil himself. I said it on his tour. I said, I tell you what, mate, I says, at that finals, I said, Roelly, it was a very, very close between you and Roelly at the 2018 Olympia. I mean, you know, I said Roelly was really, really on because you won you won Prague. You won Prague, and then you won was it Prague you won after the 2018 Olympia?
Yes.
Yeah. Because you won the Arnold Australia, you won the Prague. I mean, and your physique was really. I mean, you were kind of always knocking on that top 6, and then you jumped up to 3rd, and it was obviously a really, really good lineup, you know. And then you were really starting to pick up steam. And then 2019, was it just because you felt like you just needed a break?
No. 2019, exactly 2 days before the show, I was like, everybody was. It was after the training we got post exactly, and all the people that was there was telling me, I will win. Oh, you look
wow.
great. And I think in myself, I was nervous, you know, like when people say you will win and you be nervous. I was very nervous. I think the nerves was working with me.
So,
and that's why I think something happened exactly before the show. I was like, it was me like the same day before.
So hang on. So you think so when people were saying you think the pressure gave you nerves, even with all those, what have you done? Like 8 or 9 Olympias you've done? You actually got nervous before the 2019 Olympiad, and you think the cortisol maybe made you sort of smooth or flatten out?
Exactly. I got always nerves, but
really?
I got nerves always when you go on stage.
Oh right, okay.
I think that they can't do me nothing anymore because it's that moment. But
yeah,
I think it was 2 days before when everybody will start to talk about I will win it, and I start to be nervous. I think
really?
that was not good for me to hear that. And
so next time, do you think you're just going to hide yourself away and just have your trainer look at you and just say, keep it quiet and look, just tell me what you think when I'm on stage?
Just don't tell me that I win.
Yeah. Wow, because I've heard that before. I've heard that from guys like, the top guys like yourself who said, like, they've literally looked great a few days out, and then just something kind of just, anxiety or pressure, or like Cedric McMillan says that a lot. He says he gets very, like he said, his physique can kind of go to, he said to me, he could go to shit very quickly. He said just by, things like nerves and stuff like that, and getting a bit distracted. So even with all your experience, you still get nervous.
Yeah. Still, no matter which show you go, I'll be nervous always.
Yeah. Do you know what?
When you go on the stage, the nerve will take away, but still to the start, when you go on the stage, it's horrible.
Yeah, there's this one thing I didn't get to interview at the Olympia last year, and I wanted to ask you this. Remember when you did the Arnold Classic last year and you were 4th place? and you came, and I was told that you weighed 278.
Yeah.
278. Then you went to the Arnold Australia, and did you see Arnold Schwarzenegger put it on his Instagram? And he said, this is what happens when he said you dropped 20 pounds for the Arnold Australia. And Roelly, it all came off your waistline. Your waist just went like that, but everything else remained the same size. So I think 278 was too heavy for you. I think, honestly, because if you were 20 pounds lighter, that would have been, at Arnold Australia when you won, you would have been around 258?
You know, exactly, I don't weight, you know, it make it correct, you know. I don't like to go on the weight exactly in Arnold Classic Australia. Me and my coach was talk to each other, and he say what he want is to lose weight, and we don't check the scale anymore. What would you do is just lose the weight.
Right.
I did that like 1 week before, because when you fly exactly to Australia, it's a long flight. It's a long flight. This when I arrived in Australia, I was the same weight, but the next day, exactly, the water go hold.
Right.
Was from the flying.
Okay.
And we talked to each other, and we explained that we don't go anymore on the scale. Just walk the scale, just lose weight, drink normal. I was drinking more exactly than I have the usable drink. Was strange, and like 2 days before, he say, eat what you want. Eat. Only one I want here is eat.
Really?
I say, yeah, just eat.
Wow.
Just eat. And I was saying, nah. He say, yeah, before the show, you will eat 300 steak, 300 rice, and it was 3 hours before the show.
Okay.
And I was telling him, no, I think I can make it. I don't trust. He say, try it. And we lose already on Ohio. It's no matter if we lose on our Australia. And I come exactly better than ever.
Mate, you look so different, because I remember when he walked out at Ohio, and as soon as he walked out, I said, he's too heavy, because when you go over a certain body weight, I feel like your kind of midsection goes a bit wider, and it looks at you kind of lose your aesthetics. But when you drop that weight, I mean, people estimated it was 18 pounds. Arnold said it was 20 pounds. But mate, when you walked on stage, literally that weight, it didn't come because you look fuller as well, because your waist looks so small, but it completely transformed your physique. And you had the same look I felt when you won the Prague as well, and you beat Nathan, and your waist looked so tiny. So I think maybe there is like a weight limit cap, because the thing is, like right back as far as 2010, every single year you've come back bigger. But I just think that 2018 Olympia, 2018 Arnold Australia look, I think is absolutely perfect for your physique, because everything just pops, and you know, it really draws the eye, you know.
And 2018 was exactly just focus on my abs and my midsection, and it was a lot of plank. I never. My brother was telling me, "Roelly, you have to start with plank." I was like, "How much minute?" and he was talking about like, "Oh, you have to do it 10 minutes." I say, "Hell no! Even 1 minute, I go like." But I try to do 10 minutes every day after cardio.
Okay.
And exactly, it helps.
Yeah.
People that don't believe in plank, I believe in plank.
Yeah.
Help me.
I mean, go back to the Arnold Classic last year. There was rumours that you'd hurt your knee. Was it? Some people said you'd hurt your knee. What happened there?
No, exactly. Last Arnold Class 2019.
Yeah.
It was not my knee. It was exactly like 3 or 4 weeks, I think it was 3 weeks before the Arnold Classic, I have a gas pulse in Nepal,
That's right.
and I have food poison.
Okay, Roelly, so you're telling us you had food poisoning before the 2019 Arnold Classic. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I stayed there exactly for 3 days in Nepal. I get that in my second day, exactly the day that I have the gas pose over there.
Yeah.
I was feeling very bad, but I still do the gas pose. You know, I like to let my fans enjoy that moment that I be there, and I was like very very sick. If I drink water, I will take everything out again,
Really?
like nothing go. Exactly now 5 6 days I was back in Kuwait.
Yeah.
I was feeling already better because the guys in Kuwait care directly on me and make me better. And my body was reaction was very good. Exactly, nobody was thinking from like my coach say from um yesterday your body was like we did all nothing, but it'd be better back again the next, because he gave me like 3 days low carbs and then high carbs back again, and I was the old back again. And and on the day on the show, like 2 days on the show, something like I hold a lot of water. Like I think the rebound come then, you know.
Yeah.
And it was strange, yeah.
Well, you look. Thing is, I saw that guest posing, and you look good. You didn't look like you shriveled away. You didn't look like you hadn't eaten for a few days. You know, you still look. Yeah. You still look great. Yeah, you look great.
Yeah.
You just looked a bit watery because your body was under stress. That's why. Because I remember seeing the pictures and everyone was saying, "Is he going to be ready?" And I was like, "Well, you look full, but you just look watery." But you'd think it'd be the other way around. You'd think you'd be flat and kind of dry, you know. But without, if you're dehydrating and you know, having problems with food poisoning, that's what usually happens. They just go really dry and small, you know. You just went bigger and watery. Yeah. Going back to what I was saying about the Prague and the Arnold Australia, the Olympia 2018 when you took third place, what for you was your favorite ever look that you look at the pictures and you went, that's if I could hit that every time I'd be happy. What was your favorite look?
I think my favorite look, it was on a Classic Australia. That's just my favorite look.
Yeah.
But my coach want me always on the size and the condition from the UK show.
The UK?
He liked that.
2016, yeah, 2016, yeah. The Body Power Pro.
Yeah. He liked that. But what the fans want, or what the people want, I think, is really the New York Pro.
Yeah.
When my winning show, but exactly with 10 kilo more.
2010, that wasn't it? Your first, you won the New York Pro in 2010. Wow, that was such a good look. That was such a good look.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like that one. I always liked the 20. Do you know what? This is a funny story. When you came into the audience, because I was sat with Ronnie Coleman at the 2016 Body Power Pro, because you and Nathan came out because he shocked everyone as well. You came out. I took a picture because you hit a most muscular in front of me and Ronnie sat at the front, and it was a phone picture, and I posted it, and everyone accused me of photoshopping it. Do you know why? Because your waist was so small. People said, no, Roelly's waist is that small. You photoshopped it. And I said, guys, it's from my phone. I don't have Photoshop. It's a real picture. Because that was the year, because I remember when you went to Kuwait in 2013, and I remember you won the Nordic Pro, wasn't it? 2013 you won Nordic Pro?
2014. I won the 2014. I won the Chicago Pro.
Right, but you won the Nordic, the one in Finland.
The Nordic was 2012.
Oh, so was that 2012? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but I remember the time when you went to You went to Kuwait and you put a lot of size on, but it kind of went to your waistline a little bit, and then you kind of just you kind of went away, and then you turned up at the Body Power Pro, and I remember somebody from Holland actually said, Giles, he says, I've seen pictures of Roelly, said he's taken his physique to the next level, and I says, I think he's spoiled his shape. I said, I think he's got too big, too fast, and he said, no, Giles. He said his physique has got better, but the waistline is small, and I said, that's not possible. I actually said that, Roelly. I said, that's not possible. And he says, okay, Giles. He said, wait till he walks out then. And you walked out, and I went, how the hell did he do that?
Yeah, it was exactly when the media go explain about my belly, my waist. Either Arnold was talking about that, and I talk a lot with my coach how we gotta do that, how we make my waist smaller. Mm-hmm. And even me was thinking it's not possible, but I start things where people was thinking it's gay because only for girls. I was starting with waist training, like the waist training for girls, you know.
Yeah.
When they put it like still that here, I remember I go to New York Pro and somebody make a video, and I was like, oh shit.
I saw that, and I was like, what? Because this was when the waist trainers really started, and I remember you putting it on, and I was thinking, why is he wearing that? And but thing is, mate, honestly, that is one of the most shocking things I've ever seen. The fact that, because everything else on your physique, your back, your shoulders, your chest, everything kind of managed to get bigger, but you managed to bring that waistline in, and I was like, that's when I really knew that it was possible, because you achieved it, you made it happen, and it's just, it blew me away. I mean, and Nathan was really looking really good at that show, you know, so to see that in the flesh, I was like, oh my God. I mean, you know, being accused of photoshopping my pictures, I was a bit, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. It was good days, man. I mean, I remember that. I mean, do you know, my first ever video assignment for MD, this is the first time I was ever told to do video, was when I was sent to Rotterdam in 2011. And I had to film you I was over a few days over in Rotterdam, and obviously the guys at, what was that gym called? Sonny, the guy who ran the gym.
Oh, the gym was Bodies.
Body
something.
Yeah. That was a fantastic gym.
Body. Yeah, Body. Yeah. I remember that too. Body something. Yeah.
And I just said to me that, Giles, go over, just get as much content of Roelly as you can, get as many interviews as you can. And I was you talk about nerves, Roelly. I was bloody nervous, mate. Because they said, oh, don't worry. It says, we'll use the audio and put it over the top of his footage. And they didn't. Because I had you on one side and I had Sybil on the other. And then the whole gym was watching, and I was there with the microphone and these notes. And, mate, I was so nervous. So that was my first ever video interview, mate. And now look what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good times, man. Good times. So are you obviously looking forward to this year's Olympia, mate? Are you itching to get back so you can train properly in Kuwait?
You know, I want to go back to Kuwait. You know, was there is where the training start, you know.
Yeah.
I think my mind is then different than how it is now.
Right.
I'm just having fun with the families now. I can't have fun with the family because I'm, again, far away from the family.
Yeah.
My mind focus is much better if I there.
I mean, I actually interviewed John De La Rosa a couple of months ago, and we actually asked him the question. We said, John, who's the most intense person you've ever trained with? He said, man, he says, I trained with Roelly once, and he said we were in the car driving to the gym, and you said you'd had some pain in your knee or your leg or something. He says, like, you know, you were really, and then John said to you, he says, well, are you going to train? And you went, yeah, I'll train. And he said you were like doing like 600-pound squats for 12 reps. He said this is a guy's mindset of a guy that can say he's got a painful leg and, you know, I'm going to go easy today, and still kind of just goes absolutely crazy in the gym. So it was John De La Rosa that said that, mate.
Yeah, I know, because you know, I can have pain or not have whatever what. If I see you do more than me, it pisses me off.
Oh, that's a champion's mindset, mate.
Yeah. I just think like train with a lot of the guys. Exactly, there's one person that can hold me. It's my brother.
Really?
One of my brother, yeah.
So he's the only one that can keep up with you?
It's only my brother can keep on it. And
wow.
The thing what I want to say is, when I go 10, he will show me he go 12. I know we'll do 12.
yeah.
But it's something that can hold my training. Like, exactly, I don't like to rest. Like, it's waste your time to rest. Why you have to rest? You come from training, you have to go for it, you know? Exactly, a lot of all the guys need to rest so he can take the next exercise better. But nah, I don't need that.
Just your brother. So aside from
my brother.
Just your brother. Wow. So I really like Quincy as well. Quincy's a good guy. How's he doing?
He's doing very well. He's in Trinidad with his family.
Okay.
He just be father like a couple months ago.
Wow.
Exactly on Mr Olympia. He be father last year.
Okay.
The baby's maybe 7, 8 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. I mean, going back to training. I've seen you train, and you're someone that can train. You can train. You've got endurance. You've got strength. Is that the way you train now? Is that you just incorporate all kind of high reps, low reps, supersets? Because you're very intense. I've seen you train, Matt. I've filmed you train.
That's why now, exactly in my off season, I just train a light, very light.
Okay.
Exactly because I have knee problems last year. I do the small operation, and I recover very good about that. And but I still light in my off season, and still when I go back in Kuwait, I start to train heavier.
Do you feel fresh now you've had the break?
I feel very fresh.
You're ready. He's ready now. I can see it. I can see it in your eyes, mate.
But I feel already in Kuwait. I'm in Aruba, but I feel in Kuwait because you can do nothing in the quarantine. I'm so happy that I just can train and stay at home.
Yeah.
That's good because I think a lot of people, even in UK, is locked down. Like, you have to stay inside, right? I don't know how it's going in UK, but was a couple of weeks in the Caribbean that people just can go to the store and just can go to the drugstore.
Okay.
You have to stay all the days at home. If you don't have permission to be on the street, you can have ticket and everything.
Oh, really?
And yes, it was very strict over here, and I'm happy that I'm still can even train only.
Yeah. So I suppose it's the fact that you could even train, because that's what you do for a living. So you feel lucky that the fact you can still train and actually, keep going. That's a good to sort of note that blessing that you've got.
I see a lot of guys that's just training home. If you don't have things to train, you have to jump and do the things what the bikini girls do.
Yeah. Well, I haven't trained for like 2 months because I've got a treadmill in my house, but I refuse to get bands, or I'd rather just treat it as a break, and then when the gym's open, just go back and train and hit it hard, because,
But okay, I go tell you this. I do it for like 2 days. I do the things like bands and what the bikini girls do.
Yeah.
Really, really respect the girls because it's very hard. Believe me.
Really?
Very hard. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to hear this, mate. I don't want to hear this, Roelly.
Very hard. And the focus on the butt,
Okay, yeah. So you're doing like what's it, band kickbacks for your glutes and everything.
All that stuff. Jump.
So you're saying it's actually quite hard then?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well
You
that's
have to do something. Like it
yeah.
was a couple days that it was not possible to drive to the gym, and
Yeah.
yeah, you have to do something things that you move, something.
Yeah. So talking about obviously all the other Q80 team, you got Brandon Curry, Mr. Olympia, you got Ahmed Ashkanani. Have you trained with all those guys? Do you train all separately?
You know, everybody. That is my problem. That's all my problem. I like to train with nobody.
Okay. Just a trainer.
And I just want to go gym and just train. I train with all the guys.
Hmm.
Like you have Jason, because we have like Ashkenani. I like to train with Ashkenani. But like he have leg today and I have chest today. Like we can
Right.
train. It's like I have my time, he have his time. Like
Mm.
we have the same coach.
Hmm.
Like but I train on 2 o'clock and Ashkenani will train on 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
He had come earlier and I stay on my 2 o'clock,
Mm.
2 p.m. And I train with a lot all the guys there. I train with Brandon. I train with Nathan,
Hmm.
Rami. But it is not. I don't like to do it every day.
Right. Okay. Just every now and again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've spoke to Brandon and I said, what's it like in Oxygen? I said, are you really a team? And he says, Giles, like he said exactly what you said. He said, yes, we do train at separate times. He says, but we're very, and like, guys like Roelly and Brandon, you Rami, you guys, Nathan, you're all in the same category. But he said, we all support each other.
Yeah, that is so beautiful from there. Like
Yeah.
everybody is brothers.
Yeah.
They don't talk about friend. We're talking about brothers. Like everybody is one.
Hmm.
Um, exactly. No matter where gym you go,
Hmm.
there's always one play hater. You know,
Right.
and there you don't see that because everybody is one.
Hmm.
Even he's better than me, but he's still one.
Yeah.
They're all one. You know,
Good.
that's why I like to be there because everybody is one.
So now that Nathan Diasha is back in QA, because you two trained together for what, 2 years? Was it 2 years?
No, exactly. We was exactly again. Like Nathan have always more food than me in it because
Yeah.
this guy can eat. This guy can.
Really? More than
Yeah,
you?
he
More than you?
can eat. Like when I have in my last 2 weeks
Yeah.
when in my last 3 weeks I have thinking 200 carbs
Yeah.
of like 100. It's depend my body.
Hmm.
They didn't have 1,000, 1,500. Like
What? Really?
like I always look at him like this. You can eat, bro.
Yeah,
And and you know what's crazy?
yeah. What?
When he have a lot of carbs, his
Hmm.
weight go down.
Really?
And my carbs is low, my weight go up. It is very strange.
So
It's
you're like
very
you're a bit like Rami. I think you're carb sensitive then.
Yeah, I'm carb sensitive. Yeah, yeah, true.
Okay, so your proteins and your fats are higher then to get you in condition.
Yeah, my protein stay the same,
Yeah.
and my carbs go down,
Yeah.
and but Nathan everything stay the same. And I'm always jealous about Nathan because damn, he tell me every weekend, Roelly, I have cheat. You too? I was like, no, bro. Like
Why
I
do you,
didn't want to give me cheat meal. Nathan get high. He's burned the things very fast. I
Yeah.
think, yeah,
So why do you think that is? He just got a fast metabolism.
something lucky in his sport. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Were you excited to hear he was coming back to Q8?
Yes, I'm happy for him because you know it's everybody's choice.
Hmm.
You have to try everything that you think
Hmm.
that make you better.
Yeah.
If you think you go left and left will make you better,
Mm.
and you was always good with right and you try left, I think you have to go back right because
Yeah.
it was better, right? You know.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when because the 2017 Olympia when he took 7th, I actually had him swap with Sean Roden for 5th. I would have had him 5th, and he kind of looked. He's had some nice looks since. And when he won the British Grand Prix last year, I thought he had a really clean, really polished look. But I like that kind of supersized version of him that he always had when he was in Kuwait. You know, that for me is that's the kind of look I think. I think that's the look he likes as well.
Yeah, I think too, and exactly his last prep, he was looking very dangerous.
Oh, for the Arnold,
for the Arnold, but I think something he not go, and he want to go really, but it canceled too. I think he will make a lot of damage on the stage for the guys, but you know, everything is for a reason.
Yeah. So obviously you guys are, you're all hungry, you're all kind of separated from your families in Kuwait, and you're all focused and you're doing your daily routine and everything you need to do to be better. When Brandon Curry won the Mr. Olympia, did that give you guys even more fire?
No, it was really, it was like, me and Brandon never talk about like, oh, I go win Rooney, or Roelly, I go beat you. Me and Brandon is not like that. Me and Brandon are always laughing.
Yeah.
Talking about things to laughing. We're not talking about a lot of the bodybuilding. We're always laughing about something else. Exactly, I was happy for him. I was thinking, if it is not me, I wish it would be him.
Oh, I like that's nice. That's nice to hear.
Because we come from the same place. We fight every day training.
Yeah. And
I know he's far from his family too, you know. And he got like 5 kids. Sorry, Brandon 4. Got 4 kids. And I know he talk every day with his wife and every day with his kids. And I know it's hard for us both to be someplace where the family not is, and you know, it'd be nice if you can show your family. That's why I'm Kuwait, you know.
Yeah, I think that's what you, Brandon, Nathan have all got in common. Do you find that you support each other when you are really missing your family? Do you kind of connect on that level?
Yeah. True. Everybody needs his family, but you know, the guys either there let you feel very comfortable that you're home. That's good from the guy. It's nothing exactly for me. Nothing to do over there. Exactly, it's train, eat, and sleep. But the guy self over there treat you very nice. Treat you like a king.
Good.
You want more?
What more do you want? You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you excited to see Ramy back up on stage at the Arnold Classic this year?
Yes, it was really excited to see him. I was expecting like me, you know, like to become smaller than he have to be, because then I think he looked better. But still, because he was telling he's lighter, but he's fucking big, man.
What was he like? He must have been 300 pounds. I mean, he must be. I mean,
what it was, but
yeah,
he was. It is like when he is on stage, everybody is like a child.
Yeah, but you know what? When I saw Sergio next to him in the lineup, I expected Sergio to look a lot smaller next to Ramy, and he didn't, which shows just how many improvements Sergio made in terms of size. But I was impressed. But I quite like the look Ramy, but he obviously just needs to get a little bit touch drier. But he's making improvements, you know, in areas of his physique. What do you think?
Yeah. You know, everybody have to make his a little bit different. You have to understand. Ramy take 1 year off. 1 year off. He have injuries too. I think he have to work on that, and you know, to come back is very hard for everybody.
Yeah.
Who surprised me on the whole show was Hakeem.
Hakeem Williams, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he surprised me. It's like I think it was his best. He was there.
He looked good at the Olympia last year, man, when he took 9th. He really made a jump up because I remember he was coming in like 260, 270, but he was always watery and soft. And then he'd have to drop down to like 245, 250 but to get hard. But he would lose all that freaky roundness, you know. But then the Olympia last year and the Arnold Classic this year, he was bringing size, fullness, condition, separation. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely impressed me. So what do you think about Flex Lewis going into the Open? How do you think he'll do?
That is one I train with him, and I was thinking Flex Wheelers can hold me, but this guy put weight, and I was telling him I'm just training after 3 weeks. I start back again because I take 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
And I tell him exactly this. Flex, I just started 3 days ago. I go train with you, but I think I hold on the weight, you know?
Yeah.
And he was putting weight. And
was he?
I just go with him. I would just go with him.
When was this?
Yeah.
When was this?
Oh, it was last year.
Oh, was it? Okay.
That was excuse me, it was 2 years ago, 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Okay.
Because he got the private. I was in Florida, and he was like he invited me to come his gym, and I'm always late. I can't.
Always late. I don't believe it, Roelly. I don't believe it.
They say, Roelly, you're real from Caribbean.
Hang on, Roelly. For the record, guys, Roelly was early today. He was 30 minutes early. He was messaging me saying, "Come on, Giles, let's do it." And I'm like, "Wow, you're early." So I thought I'd acknowledge that.
Yeah, training with him 3 days. It surprised me how strong Flex is.
Because thing is, like, people don't realize you two compete against each other at the 2011 Mr. Europe in Madrid. Yeah, and I was there. And I was thinking, because Flex was 206.
2011 Grand Prix UK.
That was 2011. Yeah, he won the 202, and you came second to Branch Warren in the British Grand Prix.
And he third.
No. That was the British Grand Prix. He was in the 202. The Mr. Europe in Madrid, he did the Open. He was 206. You were second. He was third, and Ronnie Raquel won.
Yeah, Ronnie Raquel.
Yeah, cool.
But the other one, the UK one, I think Branch win.
Yeah, Branch won it. Yeah.
And Flex was third, I think.
No, Flex wasn't third. Ronnie Raquel was fourth. Johnny Jackson was third. Yeah. And because
Branch was worse.
That's right. Yeah, because remember when Ronnie Raquel was bumping? Yeah. He was Colleen. Ronnie Raquel was really like, and Branch. I thought Branch was going to kill him.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was like, whoa, this is going to kick off. And I remember you just getting the hell away. You were like, oh, I'm just going to get away from this, man. That was, Roelly, that was a really good look. I liked that look that you got, because I remember when you did the Arnold Classic, because I came to see you 6 weeks out. And I remember you stripped off, and I was like, 6 weeks out, I was thinking, God, is he gonna get ready in time? Because you were just absolutely huge, and I was thinking he's gonna struggle. And then you got 7th at the Arnold Classic, 8th place, and your condition wasn't a great, but then you really tightened it up for the British Grand Prix. And I mean, I think that was one of, because I got some really good photographs of that, and that was a really, really good look. I thought, when you were like a little bit smaller than you are now, I thought that was a fantastic look.
I remember my legs was very ripped. It's only what I remember. My legs were very ripped.
Yeah.
But very small. Everything was small. If you compare from everything after, I was very small but ripped.
Yeah, I remember I was speaking to Sybil at the time. She was your coach back then, and she was saying, she says you and her constantly fought because she thought you had a very aesthetic kind of physique, and she always wanted, and you were like, no, I want to get bigger, bigger, and it was like you two are always like fighting. She's, I remember once, I remember when she said she had a Tupperware container and she was shaking it. She was going, yeah, he's cooking his food. Normally I cook his food. She says, but that's too heavy, Giles. That's too heavy. She said, there's too much food in there. He's putting in extra food, she said.
Yeah.
It's like you two are like, I want to be bigger, bigger, bigger. She's like, no, hold back. And you're like, no, I want to get huge. I love that mentality, mate. And obviously when you got to Q8, they just said, right, fuck it. Let's get as big as possible.
Yeah. So. That happened exactly one. I come down my limit. If I can be bigger, but they don't let me. Because remember I was exactly 137.
What? When?
It was, I think,
137 kilos.
I think it was, remember, it was 2018, yeah, 2018. I come that point, 137 kilo. And
you're 5'9".
And my coach would say, no, Roelly, no more, no more. We stop with everything and we go down now, go down.
Yeah.
I was like, what? My food is already down. How much down you want? And exactly, my weight stay like 2 weeks over there.
Yeah.
And exactly with 2 weeks, it dropped down.
After 2 weeks?
Because I think I can go more than that, but they don't let me. Because the problem was how big I be, how the definition don't come out.
Yeah.
The drop weight.
For me, Roelly, what I learned from what you did last year at the 2018, we did from the Arnold to the Arnold Australia. I think anything over 260 in your midsection starts to get bigger, and it kind of ruins your V taper. Yeah. I think at around no heavier than 260, I think a really, really detailed, conditioned, like really what you brought at the 2018 Olympia, the Prague, the Arnold Australia. I think that's the perfect look because you're so big on the upper body. Everything's so big, and you haven't got big joints. Just your waist, it just sets everything off beautifully. That front double bicep was. You compare the front double bicep from the Arnold Classic 2018 to the Arnold Australia, and you're 20 pounds, 15, whatever you were lighter at the Arnold Australia. You look so much better when that waist is smaller, mate. It looks amazing. I mean, you took out William Bonac, who, so that was that for me. I think anything over 260, I think you start to lose your lines,
Yes, that's true.
And I don't think you'll ever look small, mate. If you came down to 250, you're still, because you've got, let's just say it now. Right now in bodybuilding, you have the best arms in bodybuilding competing today. The best.
Thank you.
Yeah, he likes that. No, because I was thinking, Phil Heath, Roelly. Well, Phil's not competing anymore, so I think we can say that Roelly has definitely got the best arms competing today. Because, yeah. And the thing is, you've always been shy about flexing your triceps. I remember when. Sybil wanted to take a picture, and you were like, "No, I don't want to take a picture." She says, "No, take a picture." Giles wants to take a picture of your triceps. Show him your triceps. I was like, "Come on! I've flown to Rotterdam, man." That was good, man. That was good. And I was like, "Yeah, I've still got that picture somewhere, actually."
Yeah.
So, you're with BPI now. How's that going?
Oh, BPI, very well, very well. I'm happy to have one company behind me, and they treat me right. And I'm happy with that. Good.
And I always see you talking about, was it rider wear trainers and the watches, and always you like your swag,
Yeah, I don't. The watches I don't have anymore.
Okay.
I think the company is closed. I don't know what.
Okay.
I still have rider wear, and Nabia clothing.
Oh, Nabia clothing. Okay, cool. Yeah. Because they do the Olympia clothing, don't they?
The Olympia clothing, yeah.
Okay, then, Roelly, well, this has been absolutely amazing. It's been really good to catch up, actually, mate. It's because it's like we were I used to see you a lot and speak to you a lot, and then I kind of felt like I lost contact with you for a few years, but it's really nice to reconnect, mate. It's really good, really good.
Thank you, man. You're welcome, bro.
So I'm just really, really excited to see you at the Olympia this year, because I know that because 2018 was such a strong year, and to see you at 2019, it was all kind of everything and anything kind of went wrong for you, the nerves and the knee and everything, and it's good to hear that you're rested now, and it's good to know that you're raring to go. And I think sometimes the fact that you've been pulled back a little bit, it's only going to make you work harder when you do get to Kuwait, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Okay, well, Roelly Winklaar, I'll see you in Vegas, mate.
What I want is that you say my name very right, how it have to be.
I got a minute.
Okay.
Roelly.
That is Roelly.
Roelly. In fact, I know your full name because you wrote it on you were on that black and white picture on the front cover of MD. Yeah. I said, because I went over to Rotterdam the second time, I said, Roelly, can you sign that for me? Because your name begins with an E, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's Irulov, isn't it?
No.
Oh, come on. Help me out, please. Come on, help me out.
We skip that one.
Okay, we'll skip that one. Okay. Roelly. Okay. Roelly, that's right. That's correct. Winklaar.
Yeah, it's good.
You don't say it like it with a V.
Yeah, you guys say Winklaar. It's Winklaar.
Winklaar. Because it's double A, isn't it?
Klaar mean finish.
Okay.
You win, and finish. Winklaar.
Ah, okay. Winklaar. Okay.
Not the Wink. Okay.
Winklaar.
Yes.
That's right. Okay.
Yes.
Roelly Winklaar.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Roelly, consider myself schooled. All right, then, mate. Well, I'll see you in a few months in Vegas, mate. And it's thank you for the time. I really appreciate it, Roelly. Cut. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Okay, bro.
Thank you, Roelly. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas, and with great pleasure, Kevin Levrone. Yeah! Kevin, finally I got you on, mate.
Yes, I'm here.
Kevin.
It's taken a while, but I apologize, man. I've been extremely busy.
Yeah.
And so it's good seeing you again, and congratulations on your growth.
Oh, thank you.
And everything that you've done, man. You've been so loyal to us. So when I got the call and heard that you were hunting me down, so I had no choice but to honor that. But first of all, I want to say thank you for having me here, and it's a pleasure to get to talk to you again. So.
I'll be honest. This is I don't want to be biased, but this is a bit of a special one for me, Kevin, because you and I'll let the viewers know. You're one of those people in my life that was a pivotal moment in my life when we'll talk about it in a bit, but you were one of the people that really changed the direction of my life, which possibly means I might not even be doing this right here, right now, if it wasn't for the encouragement you showed to me 26 years ago, mate. So I want to thank you.
Oh, yeah, man. I'll never forget that, inspiration that I saw in your eyes when you were just a young lad, over there in England. And it reminded me so much of Peter McGough, when I had first saw him.
Wow.
And I remember the words, man. I remember saying, man, you have a lot of passion, you have a lot of talent for this. You should really consider doing it, full time. And you've stuck with it, man. You've prospered forward, and here you are. I'm very, very proud of you. And like you said, it's about 25, 26 years.
Well,
now.
I'm 44 tomorrow, and this was in 1994 when I was 18 years old. So
wow.
So 26 years later, here I am, and obviously I've been, working for constantly in that 26 years to get to the point that I'm at now. So, and it was...
You want to tell them how you got started? Because people just see the success and your achievements, but, there's a vision there, there's a sacrifice there, and you've made a huge commitment, because you've moved, to continually moving in the forward, motion. And I think you're inspirational, man, as well as a lot of us. Really, there's kids looking at you and people looking at you saying, you know what, I want to do what he's doing. So tell us how it happened. Lead us through it real quick if you can.
Interview with Giles Thomas with Kevin Levrone. Well, I was. It was the 1994 British Grand Prix. The day after, I was at the hotel because I knew the hotel where all the athletes would be staying. And because you and Sean Ray were my two favorites, and that's the ones because I used to wait for I knew what time the bus would come in, and I used to wait in the lobby because I'd like to meet. I wanted to see you guys all first. I was 18 years old, and it was the day after the British Grand Prix. You'd just come second to Dorian Yates. I tell you what, can you remember what you weighed at that 1994 British Grand Prix? Can you remember?
It was probably about 240s. I think I was about 240 something there.
249.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember, funnily enough, going back to Peter McGough. Peter McGough wrote the report when Chris Lund did the photographs for the UK edition of Flex. And he said that was because that was the year that I thought that was the year you came closest to Dorian at the British Grand Prix because you both weighed the same. You both weighed 249. And I always, for me, like your 1994 Olympia look and that Grand Prix look, I think was one of your best ever looks. I think it was just amazing. And I thought you and Dorian, man, I think Dorian was feeling the heat that weekend.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, man. I want to say the passion of bodybuilding that come from England is just enormous. And it's beautiful because you just said some names there. First of all, Dorian Yates. Mm-hmm. What he's accomplished. Then you got one of the greatest writers in all-time history that has ever existed in writing, the great Peter McGough.
Yep.
Then you have one of the best photographers that has ever lived that brought us, to life through the magazines, which is Chris Lund. Yeah. So there's something certainly special about the core of the UK and the passion that they have. And those were the golden eras, but those were the best moments of our lives in bodybuilding that inspired all of us. Because without the Peter McGoughs, and the Chris Lund and the Dorian Yates, I wouldn't be able to tell my story. Dorian pushed me to be better in the gym.
Yeah.
Chris Lund
brought out the best in you.
Yeah, Chris Lund brought the vision to the world. Mm-hmm. Peter McGough wrote the words that could compel the spirit and touch their hearts. Yeah. So listen, man. You got some huge steps to follow him, bro.
Kevin, I feel like I'm walking in the footsteps of giants.
Yeah, and you're the one carrying it. Nobody's there really doing what you're doing at that level that you're doing it with, man. And I'm very, very proud of you. I'm very proud of you because you triumphed through and you're here for us all, just like they were.
Thank you. And we got to mention, give special credit to Kevin Horton as well, another legend in bodybuilding photography. Kevin Horton, yeah.
I went on tours with him. His photos and everything that Horton did, and the whole crew. So it was a lot of passion going on there, man. Yeah, the greatest moments ever in my bodybuilding career.
Well, actually, this is the first conversation you and I ever had face to face. Was when I was 16 years old, and it was at the 1992 British Grand Prix. And this was pre-internet, so this was one day after the Helsinki 1992 Mr Olympia. You were in your rookie year. You only just turned pro the year before the 1991 Nationals, and you stormed into second place at the Olympia. And I remember, because remember the lobby at the Royal Centre in Nottingham? And down at the bottom,
I think it was at Nottingham, yeah.
Nottingham, okay. Yeah. And there was so many. You came out because all the after the show had finished, all the fans would be waiting in the lobbies for all the competitors to come out to get signed pictures and everything else. And I remember fighting my way through, and you had like these stripy leggings on, and I couldn't get over the size of your quads. And I said, I put you and I shook your hand and you did one of those like funny handshakes, you know. It was like, you know, I was like a street handshake, you know. And I said something really goofy. I said, the first, because you turned to me and I just thought, oh, say something. And I said, is it true you bench press 700 pounds? And you just went, nah, man, it's just 600. And I was like, that's still pretty good. That's still pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they talk about the New York City crowd here being a rowdy crowd, but I remember the shows over there in England, man, and including even in like Manchester, you know.
Yeah.
Carrie Kays and Dorian, they would promote the shows, and I mean, the crowd was just so into it, man. You know, that was bodybuilding at its strongest back then.
Yeah. Do you remember the thing is, I mean, that 1992 British Grand Prix, like I said, this a lot of people in the audience didn't even know who had won the Olympia. That's how, and they left. I think you came out halfway through in that archway, and then they left Dorian to last, and they said, and then they paused because there was like the dry ice coming out, and they said, and now, please welcome the new Mr. Basically, this is the day after the Olympia. A British Mr. Olympia, the first one ever, comes out. And I remember just the place went absolutely crazy. And do you remember what you posed to at the 1992 British Grand Prix?
Was it Rage?
No. Michael Jackson.
You remember that?
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
What song did I use? Tell me.
You posted Jam. You posted Jam.
Really?
Yeah. And do you know what you did? I always wanted to ask you this because everyone had like the normal lighting, and when you came out, you had different lighting. You had like flashing coloured lights, and I always assumed you must have asked one of the backstage guys. Say like, hey, when I come out, can you do some different like? Did you?
Yeah, I was into it. You know, for me, it was about putting on a show.
Yeah.
Giving the people their money's worth, and you know, they had come out, they had waited so long for this event to happen, and I just wanted to be something special. You know, my routine have its own signature on it.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, those last few weeks before the British Grand Prix, when I was like a teenager, I mean, I literally couldn't sleep. You know, I was so excited, you know, to see all my heroes, people like yourself and Dorian and Vince Taylor. And in fact, I'm gonna do a bit of show and tell now. You've got to tell me the year.
Yeah, we had Charles Claremont there too.
Charles Claremont, yeah, I had I had a really good conversation with Charles Claremont a few weeks ago.
What was the one guy's name? His name was Johnny something. The guy from England. He was I forgot the guy's name, but he was a big guy, man. You guys had a lot of great bodybuilders come out of England.
Yeah,
a lot of good pros. Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna show you something now. Okay, okay, just get on there. Okay, I'm gonna show you. Can you tell me what year this was from? Can you see that? Can you see that?
That's me.
Yeah.
Who's next to me?
That's Vince Taylor.
Flex Wheeler?
Vince Taylor.
Oh, that's Vince.
Yeah. Do you want to tell me what year that was?
I'm going to say...
Can you see that?
That's probably like 94?
95.
95.
Yeah.
Wow. What show was that?
What was that? I took that photo. I printed it myself at college. That was the British Grand Prix in 1995.
Okay.
Because
1995.
In 92 you came second. 93 you came in. You were bigger, but you came third that year to Flex Wheeler was second. Charles Claremont was first. The year after 94 you came second to Dorian. Very, very, very close contest. 95, I think, because Dorian wasn't there, I think you thought, right, I'm really going to win this British Grand Prix now. 96, you dropped to fourth, and then in 97, that was the year you won.
Oh, 97, I won.
Yeah.
Wow.
97, I won.
Hey.
And you know what,
Kevin?
Kevin?
Shows, man. England's my second home.
So I'm a proper fanboy in here. Sorry about this. I remember because I went backstage because I was doing the photo report for Muscle Mag. Robert Kennedy commissioned it, you know? So I went backstage and Lee Priest, Charles Claremont, Paul Dillette, Chris Cormier was doing chin-ups on some scaffolding. And I said, I can't find, where's Kevin? Because I wanted to see, you were the one I always wanted to see win, you know, because you come second and third and fourth. So I went down like a corridor. And then it was like a dark corridor. Vince Taylor was under a light. He just found a random mirror, and he was there in he just had his shoes, his trunks, and a Cybergenics cap on. And I couldn't find you anywhere, so I went right down to the end of this corridor, and then there was two dressing rooms. And I saw Sean Davis in one, the British bodybuilder. Remember the big guy? Mm-hmm. Sean Davis. And I went into the final room, and you were in there, and you were getting your leg tanned up. Now, before that, the show started, Wayne D'Amelio came out, and he was talking about you, and he was saying, because that was the first year they did the Olympia over 2 days. And that was, I
remember.
Yeah, that was Dorian's final year. And he said, he says, Kevin looked so good on the second day. If he'd looked like that on the first day, everyone thinks he would have won. You know, so I was thinking, I really hope he's looking good for this one. So anyway, when I saw you in that change room, I said, can I get some pictures? And you said, just give me a few minutes. Just give me a few minutes. Because I was just... So anyway, I came back out, walked down, because I had to go over the front of the stage and down the steps into the audience. Sorry, I'm going on a bit, yeah. And I kind of had this shocked look on my face. Everyone's like, what have you seen? What have you seen? I said, guys... It's a wrap. It's a wrap. I said, Kevin's got this. I said, I've never seen him like this. I said, this is the version of Kevin. No one is beat. No, Kevin. I said, no one is beating him today. And even the judges were turning around, looking like, and then and you came out. And do you think that was your best ever look, the '97 British Grand Prix? Because you were very, very big, but you were so sharp that year.
Yeah, I've heard that, I don't know what happened. I would always, when I got overseas, when I got over there after the Olympia, it was just game on,
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had some of my best looks ever, over there, man, competing. Wow. I remember those moments with you, man. Now that you're triggering my memory, and I'm thinking, yeah, you were definitely... You were relentless. You had a lot of passion. You would not give up. You would set back, and every time I turned around, I would just see you. I'm like, there's that guy again, There's a kid again. I'm like, man, you need to get a job doing this. Yeah. You really love this, don't you? Yeah, it was amazing, man. Yeah. Thank you, though. Thank you for those good, great memories and everything, man.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Do you remember what you posed to at the '97 British Grand Prix?
It had to be Rage Against the Machines, right?
Nope. That was '99.
Oh, really?
Come on. You can't have somebody beat you on Kevin Levrone trivia, mate.
I mean, you remember everything.
Yeah. Well, come on.
What was it? Tell me.
It was
because I never thought I would have posed to Michael Jackson.
It was Prodigy, Breathe. Ding, 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 ding. And then you did the lat spread really slowly. You did it one lat at a time. And you posed really... Prodigy, yeah, Breathe. You came on.
How does it go?
Ding, 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 ding. Remember Breathe? Come on, stop laughing.
Well, the words. Give me the words. Give me the words.
Breathe in me. Breathe in me. Can you play it on your phone or something? Prodigy, Breathe.
What is it?
It's Prodigy, Breathe. It's a classic track. That and Firestarter were their two biggest tracks.
Wow. You got that video? Where's the footage of this stuff?
Do you know what? I actually had a VHS tape sent to me by an Irish fan that was sat in the audience, who I managed. I got to know him, and he sent me a VHS tape. He filmed it himself, and then a few years later, GMV from Australia, Wayne Galash, he released the DVD. It's actually on YouTube. Search for it, 1997 British Grand Prix, and you'll see Prodigy, Breathe.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, you guys were hardcore. That crowd over there was like. Yeah. Bring it,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, and
those are the best moments ever, man. Wow.
What was
Here we are.
Here we are. What was your favorite?
Many years later.
Yeah. What was your favorite British Grand Prix? Because you won again in 2001 as well, in Manchester.
The one where you had came back, and where you had said, that one right there, the Prodigy one.
97.
When I had finally went, because I think that was a show that Dorian Yates promoted, correct?
No, that was 99 and 2000. No, that was 99 and 2001, because you did those two, but you didn't do the 2000 for some reason. You had problems with your passport in 2000.
What show was it? What show did Dorian Yates MC?
That was the 2001. That was the second one you won. You won in 1997 when it was in Nottingham, and then you won again in 2001 when it was in Manchester, promoted by Dorian.
Right. Yeah, and Dorian, who emceed that? Dorian?
I think it might be Dorian. Yeah. I think it was Dorian and who else was it?
And Kerry Case.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been Dorian and Kerry.
I think that one right there meant the most to me because Dorian was the champ, and he had promoted the show, and it was like he was passing the torch over to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, that really meant a lot because it's like even though I didn't beat him competing against him in England, he still rewarded me the throne. So I definitely that one right there really sticks in my head because he gave me the trophy and my hand up on stage, and it was almost like you know what. You're my brother. Here you go, man. Yeah, and that was awesome for me.
So, I mean, I think for in terms of your physique, though, I think the 97, because that was the look you went super huge, but you came in super dry. And I just thought, because you brought in many different looks to the Olympias and all these different shows. Remember, like 2000, you came in with a more aesthetic look, and 97, 98, you kind of went bigger. And I just thought that 97 British Grand Prix, because you improved upon how you did at the Olympia in terms of your condition, and you just absolutely nailed it. What was it like trying to stay on your diet when you were on those tours?
Oh, it was great, man. Great moments because for me, I really wouldn't come off of my diet.
Right.
If the food wasn't there in whatever city or whatever country we were going in, I just wouldn't eat. I would give my food to Milos.
Oh, really?
And I would give my food to Sonny. And I would give my food out to all those guys.
Really?
The food on those tours, it wasn't clean food, and those guys were starving. They were hungry. So I would just give them all my food so that they could spill over with the carbs.
Yeah. Now, we had Chris Cormier on last week, and he told a little story about you on one of the Grand Prix. He said he was, on the plane, and he said you were talking to one of the stewardesses or something with your top off, and what was it? He said he was on last episode. It was hilarious. He said, Kevin was just at the back.
Chris is funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, so that was...
Yeah, me and Chris, we had some good times, man. We would, on those tours, we were like brothers. It was like a brotherhood. I mean, we really got a chance to spend a lot of time with each other. We helped each other out. Chris and I, we would end up racing in the streets, foot racing in the streets and having all these little bets in between. And Vince Taylor was there. It was great. We had NASA El Sabati. We had Sonny Smith. We had Lee Priest. We had Paul Dillette. Milos Sarchev, of course. Milos was just taking everything so serious, trying to stay in shape the whole time. Him and Sonny. Every time I saw him and Sonny, these guys are eating carbs and carbs and carbs and carbs. And I'm thinking, man, what are these guys doing? Eating all those carbs all that time. So, when I felt myself getting hungry because, there wasn't really any good food around, I would just have a drink. I'd just have like a little drink, a shot of vodka or some Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola, And what I found out was, it would create my appetite. It would create my appetite. I didn't feel like eating for another, 3 or 4 hours, and I would just get lean and more ripped as the time and the shows went on. We would do, Gil, like 6 shows in a matter of 2 weeks.
Crazy.
It was a lot. We would pound out a show tonight, then we'd be on the plane, we leave the hotel, fly to another city, check in. When the plane lands, we be on stage. We were banging out 6 shows in a matter of 2 weeks. That was a lot.
Yeah. I was wondering.
You learned a lot. Go ahead.
What was your funniest experience on the Grand Prix tours?
The funniest experience on the Grand Prix tour was when Ronnie Coleman knocked on my damn door.
I knew you were going to say that. What did you suggest to him to drink?
It was vodka. It was vodka. That's all I had in the in my room, and in the refrigerator thing, and he knocked on the door, and it's crazy. I peeked through the hole like this, and I'm like, "Damn, that's Ronnie." It comes on in. Let me ask you a question, man. I said, "What?" How you get in shape like that? I was like, what do you mean, man? I said, what do you mean? Come on inside. So I brought him inside. I set him down, and I said, what you mean how I would get in shape? I mean, you just keep getting better and better. I said, look, man, just you can't eat all that food, Ronnie. I said, you got to just relax a little bit, bro. You're eating too much. Not a lot of good food here on these tours and everything. And I said, just relax, man. Why don't you have a little shot of vodka or something? I don't drink no alcohol, Kevin. I don't drink no alcohol.
Oh, I love it.
And I said, why don't you just try to, you're taking things too serious, Ronnie. Just, take a little sip and you'll be all right. If you say go ahead and try, I'm going to go ahead and try it, Kevin. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try it. Okay. So he tried it, took one shot,
Did you put coffee in it as well? Does he, was it vodka and coffee or just vodka? Yeah. Caffeine and alcohol. I can't imagine caffeine and alcohol at the last thing at night.
I had some coffee for him.
Okay.
I had some coffee for him. Also. He might have said, I don't drink no coffee. He probably said that too, right? But if he said, okay, do it, I'm going to go ahead and try it. Yeah. So he tried it, next thing I know, freaking man, 3 or 4 hours later, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, he's half drunk, I'm half drunk. He goes back to his hotel room. I see him the next day at prejudging at the Russian, show over there in St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
Ooh. I looked at him. I was like, good God almighty, what happened? In my mind, we're pumping up, and I'm looking at him like this. I was like, shit. I mean, he was ripped. All the water left his body. Everything left his body. He was just shredded. His veins were like, boom.
Really?
All over his body.
Because thing is, that was the last show of the tour, wasn't it? Most of the guys then, their bodies are just their bodies are usually just giving up by that point.
Yeah, we had already did about 6 shows. This was the 6th show, and I had won everything. And
97.
He beat me there.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I was shocked.
Because he was like getting fifths and 6th at the start of the tour, and then
the whole time,
and then douche.
Boom. He beat me there.
Yeah.
Then he came back to America. Night of Champions. He beat me.
Yep.
And it was like Ronnie Coleman just beat Kevin Levrone twice. I got second in Olympia and won everything on the tours. I was like the next guy, to be Mr. Olympia. Dorian Yates steps down. So here we go at the Mr. Olympia. Ronnie Coleman came back bigger, thicker than ever. And just not only did he beat me, he beat Flex, he beat Sean, he beat Chris, he beat all of us. To be the greatest of Mr. Olympia. If not, I would say the greatest Mr. Olympia as far as his physique-wise that the world has ever seen. And none of us never ended up beating him again. It was just, he took it to another galaxy, man.
I remember.
Yes, he did.
I remember being backstage actually at the 2002 Olympia, and I've actually got photos that I took of you practicing your posing routine backstage. Because I remember Joe Weider was there. You were practicing your posing. I forget who was next to you. I think it might have been Art Atwood. Maybe Art Atwood, or it might even be Craig Titus.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I remember, and then there was a big crowd around Gunter, and there was a big crowd around Ronnie, and then there was a big crowd around you and whoever else was there, just practicing posing. In fact, I'll try and find those negatives. Actually, I could probably get you a set of prints sent. Actually.
Yeah, I would love to see those. Because it's like I don't have any of that stuff. Everything was in the magazines back then.
Yeah.
And then of course they ended up in the Weider library. So. But yeah, if you can get your hands on that stuff, man, that's priceless.
Yeah, I can send it over.
Yeah.
What was because you brought a lot of different.
So listen, the world want to know, and you witnessed Ronnie Coleman, face to face. The world want to know what did he? If you had to describe him, what did he look like?
An alien. Because do you know what? Ronnie actually at the time wasn't one of my favorite bodybuilders because I couldn't I just didn't see his. I didn't even see. I categorized him as something else. It wasn't an attainable look. You know, I just thought he was so unbelievable to look at. I just thought, what's the point of even training with the motivation of that in my head? Because I can't picture it. You know, he was like on another level. He was just. I mean,
you can't fathom it. And Peter McGough said the same thing. It's like, you know, when I saw him, you know, and I was with Ronnie as Ronnie developed, and it kind of like happened right before our eyes.
Yeah.
Within a short period of time. And I remember being backstage at the Olympia, and he had won. Okay, yeah, well, Ronnie Coleman won. All right, probably not going to win again, right? So he comes back the next year, bigger, right? And I saw him. I remember walking behind him, and he was just, it wasn't even human looking anymore. Yeah. It was just this thing.
Yeah.
This being, this thing. And I was walking out of the dressing room with me and Sean Ray, and I was looking at him like, I just said, like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
You know, it looked like literally like a silverback gorilla.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
shaved.
He was black. He was purple. He just had stuff hanging that you could not just describe. And it was hard for me to believe that a human being was looking like that was a human being, because I was like, what is it? Because it didn't look anything like a normal bodybuilder anymore. It was just unbelievable, you know, and wow, breathtaking.
Yeah,
breathtaking, man.
What was your favorite era? Was it the Dorian era or the Ronnie Coleman kind of reign? What was your favorite time to competing? And which one?
The whole thing, because each Mr. Olympia, I have a great memory for. You know, the first one, Lou Ferrigno was there. It was in Helsinki, Finland. Yeah, it was in inside of a hockey rink. That was weird and strange. You know, we had that show. Lee Labrada was there. I competed against Lee Labrada. Dorian Yates, you know, was only in his 230 something back then. Yeah, that was the beginning of the whole Yates era. You know what I mean? And that was a very, very special moment. I mean, I ended up getting second out of nowhere. I was like, wow, that blew my mind.
I was always amazed. I was always amazed at how because you forgot your music, didn't you? And you put a really good posing routine to something that wasn't even your music. 92.
Yeah, it was never. No, I didn't even have my music. I ended up music got lost in the luggage because the luggage didn't make it through the tours. You got to remember, you know, we would fly, then we would check our bags, then we would go. Sometimes my trunks didn't even show up in other countries. Yeah, you know. And I would have to borrow some trunks from someone else and just tell the DJ, hey, look, I don't know what you got. Just play some opera classical music. And I would just make stuff up, you know, as I would go on stage. And this is why people are like, man, how did you get that routine? How did you do this? I don't know. I just was in the moment. In that moment, you know, where you just have to reach for the stars and everything kind of just fall in place. Yeah. But I got to say, you know, that whole tour, you really learn a lot. That was like going to college, you know, for a doctorate degree. Yeah. You know, every year on the road, going to college, you know, there was times where you didn't have the proper food. You have to adapt and learn. You would lose your music. You would lose your trunks. You didn't have any Proton, you know, so you learn how to work with the other guys. I remember one time, I think we were in Italy, and we had to have a competition. It was in a meat house, you know, where they had slaughtered cattle. Yeah. And yeah, it was, I think it might have been Italy or Spain or somewhere like that. It might have been Spain. There were a bunch of gypsies around. It was out on a farm.
Wasn't that the?
Were you there?
Was that the Russian one, or that was like a tent, wasn't it? That was the Russian, where they stole all the carpet tiles. Where they stole all the carpet tiles.
Yeah, something like. I think it might have been one of them was Russia, but I remember this.
Okay.
Being, Yeah, it was actually on a farm somewhere, I believe. It was.
Wow.
But the competition. Something had happened to the venue, but we had to have the competition at a different location. And Wayne was like, "Well, this is what we got. The show's got to go on. We're here now, guys.
Yeah.
You guys got to make the best of it." There were gypsies out in the back trying to take our bags and stuff that we had off the bus, and it was hot, man. It was super hot. There was a bunch of flies around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was inside of a meat house.
Exactly what Ronnie said. It's exactly what Ronnie said. He said flies everywhere.
It was stinking. It was smelling. I was like, if we make it out of here alive, we're doing good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went on. We had that show. I mean, those are the moments that, you grow, right? You grow as a unit for one purpose, man. And it's just, man, every show was unique and different in every city we went to. I remember, you got to think, we were the first bodybuilders that ever went into Moscow back in 1994.
Wow, was it? I didn't know that.
Dude, yeah. Oh, you kidding me? The Russian Mafia brought us over there. I never forget it. The Russian Mafia brought us over there. Wayne was like, you got to go to Russia, but you guys are on your own. You guys are going to be on your own. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we get into Russia, get into Moscow over there. St. Petersburg, I think, was the show. Russian Mafia's brought us in there. Oh, my God, dude.
Tell us.
I lost my visa. After I won the show,
I
lost my visa. And they came.
To go back home?
They paid me. Yeah. I lost my visa.
How come? What did you do?
I don't know. I had to check into the hotel with my visa. I don't know. I lost it. But anyway, I don't know what happened. I ended up winning the show.
Yeah.
And they didn't want me to leave Russia. They wanted me to stay there to teach them the American way of bodybuilding, right?
Okay.
And I remember getting to the airport. I didn't have my visa or nothing. And they said, and these three soldiers came up to me. Mm-hmm. I remember, this is crazy. Talk about 1994, the Russian Mafia, right? These three soldiers came up to me in this small airport.
Yeah.
And they brought me to the side. They took me in the back room. They dumped my luggage out. Mm-hmm. Searched everything. They made me strip down. These guys had like machine guns to me, right? They said, no visa, no leave Russia.
Oh, God.
No visa, no leave Russia. And that's all I could understand because I couldn't speak Russian and I didn't know what they were saying to me. Mm. They held me there for maybe about 35 minutes. And they finally let me go on the plane. Mm-hmm. And they put me on this bus, drove me out across like this field, looked like a cornfield. You're talking 1994. This is
26 years ago.
Russia was really, really bad then.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Russia like it is now. Mm. The mafia was running everything. I guess they figured they paid these American bodybuilders all this money, and they had U.S. cash, right? Mm. And now here we are. We're going to leave. That was very, very disgraceful, and it wasn't proper. Mm. And they wanted us to stay there and teach them the way. So we were going. And
to stay there.
They didn't like that too well.
So what do you think happened to your visa then? What do you think happened to the visa?
I have no idea. All I know is I didn't have it. I got on that plane, and the plane was so old. The seats had to fold up, like a 1960s car where the seats fold, boom, forward. Mm-hmm. That's how the plane seats were.
What?
And these guys had machine guns.
Yeah. On
the bus, they had machine guns. And the plane, you had to walk up the stairs to get to the plane, And at the bottom of the stairs of the plane, the guy was there with the machine gun. So they dropped me off by myself because they kept me by myself about 40 minutes. Mm. In this field, I had to walk about 100 meters to get to the plane. So a guy behind me was with a machine gun. Guy at the bottom of the plane was with a machine gun. I was lucky that I even made it to the steps. And I crawled up and I got on that plane and I just looked out the side window. I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to come back to Russia again.
You've been back since, so I take it?
Yeah, I actually came home and wrote a song about it called Das Svidaniya on my album.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I got the inspiration.
you know, that's a
Russia.
nice...
But yeah, I ended up going back. Let me tell you this story. I ended up going back. Wayne called us up. He goes, dude, you guys want to go back to Russia? I think it was about 2 years later or something. But I said, yeah, I'll go back. He goes, well, you know, you don't have to worry because the promoter, he's not there anymore. You know, somebody murdered him. Right.
Okay.
So I was like, wow.
Okay.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing? So I went back, and that's when, you know, Ronnie ended up beating me in at the second Russia show. But ever since then, just to clear it up, you know, moving forward, that was my boots on the ground in Russia, and my experience, because we went back the second time. It was great. It was a good experience. We had dinner. They treat us like kings. You know, things have changed a little bit. The Russian fans, man, they were 100% spot on. You would have thought we were like rock stars there. And to this day now, it's one of my favorite places that I've ever visited. And that history of me going there in 1994 as a bodybuilder, when I go there now, I tell these stories. And actually, the Russians are one of my biggest supporters with my nutritional supplement company right now. We're in the entire Russia with fitness formulas. I go there each year. I spend two weeks there visiting from Moscow all the way down to Kazakhstan, the entire Russia. And those are they're one of my biggest supporters ever. And it's great, man.
So, I mean, that's leading on to your Levrone signature series. I mean, that's Poland. You're very big in, aren't you?
What's that?
Poland. I see your products and hear a lot. I've seen on your Instagram you travel a lot to Poland and you've done a lot of seminars there. And so there's certain countries that you have a real stronghold in with your supplement company.
Yeah, we're in like 80 different countries now around the world.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, you know, Gil, and it's really contribute to the IFBB and Joe and Ben Weider's vision to have the sport be an international sport, you know, and their goal was to get into the Olympic Games. I remember having the conversations with Joe and Ben Weider as well. But they set it up to where, you know, we went on these world tours, you know, and that gave us an opportunity to make a name globally outside of America, you know, and people look at my record. I mean, I competed 69 times.
69 times?
I've got 69, yeah. In a matter of 14 years, that was about 8 shows a year, 7 shows a year for 14 years straight. 23 first place wins, 18 second place. Yeah, 18 second place wins. And the rest were in the top 5. I only placed in the top 6 one time in my career. And people don't notice this, but, you know, I tore my pec in 1993. I was
going to lead on to this, actually.
Yeah, the majority of my shows that I won was, it happened after the pec tear.
Kevin, one thing sorry to interrupt. One thing I've always wanted to ask. This has always baffled me. 1993 Olympia, you took 5th place. You ripped your pec. How many weeks out from the Olympia? How many weeks out was it?
I tore it in February.
Okay. How did you manage to come in?
It was 7 months.
But how did you manage to come in bigger that year? You came in bigger than you did in 92. Your condition wasn't as sharp because, I mean, 92 you were absolutely shredded. But 93, I always wondered how you came back from an injury. You didn't just come back, you came back bigger. I've always wanted to know how How?
And people didn't believe it. People really didn't believe it.
You're huge.
They didn't believe that I had tore my chest to the extreme that I did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until after that show where I think I placed, 5th? Was it 5th?
Yeah, 5th.
I think I placed 5th there.
Yeah.
But I didn't reveal the extent of how bad the damage was before. Because I wanted to take that time to not have them judge me as the injury. So I said that I only tore my chest doing flies. I remember telling Lee Haney that I only tore it doing flies. 50-pound dumbbell flies, wasn't that bad.
Was that 50-pound dumbbells in your face?
Dude,
yeah, I see. Yeah, I'm showing off now.
Yeah. I got home. I got home from the Mr Olympia, and I was so lean, and I was still training heavy, and I tore my chest with 600 pounds. I was benching 600.
Whoa!
And I came down raw, no shirt, and I pushed up.
Yeah.
And I came down for a second rep. And I remember going up like this, and I had one guy behind me spotted me.
Yeah.
And my right side tore. It ripped like a piece of paper. Like, I heard it just. Like that.
I hate stuff like this.
He had to pull it off, and I racked it.
Yeah.
I went in the bathroom. Damn. And I drove to the hospital. I remember driving to the hospital that night because I knew what happened.
Yeah.
And I got to the hospital, and I was so big they couldn't put me in the MRI machine or nothing.
Yeah.
The doctor was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
I said, "I tore my chest," and he's like, "I know you. You're Kevin Levrone." I'm like, "How do you know me?" He goes, "I follow bodybuilding."
Nice.
Thank God he knew me. But anyway, he says, "Let the swelling go down. Come back." So I came back in 48 hours, and he automatically he said, I'm gonna operate on you because you're athlete.
Yeah.
You're not just an athlete, but I'm gonna do my best on you, and I'm gonna go and perform and see if I can get to where your injury is without cutting you here. I says, great. I says, because I can't have that scar.
No,
right there.
The indentation. You never had the indentation. It's the best pec tear surgery I've ever seen. Best I've ever seen.
He said, I'm going to go in underneath your armpit. And his name is Kevin Testworth. Matter of fact, he lives in England right now.
Okay.
He's an orthopedic surgeon. And he performed the surgery on a dead body first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on a cadaver first. And he went in, and I had a 10-hour surgery. After that, it got infected. I had to go back. And I had another 6-hour surgery. I got 6 screws down in there. My tendon had snapped in half. I tore my pectoralis major minor and snapped my tendon off the bone. But it was a little bit of the tendon left to where he could sew it together. It was blown completely out.
Full blown.
Yeah, it was done. And I was in a partial body cast like this for about 4 months.
Yeah.
About 4 months. And I lost
4 months.
My body weight was my body weight was I was about 240 about 250 when I tore it.
Yeah.
And I went down to 215 pounds.
Wow.
So I don't know how many kilos that is.
Well, 100 kilo is 220. So you're about 90, 96, 97, what was that, 97, 98 kilo. Yeah, about 98 kilo.
Yeah.
So
coming from 240 pounds, 250 pounds. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
And my whole right side had dropped down to nothing. And I couldn't eat nothing. I remember taking my sling off, and I was like, damn, Olympia's coming up. It's in September. And this was in July.
In July?
I had to learn how to do push-ups. And I went to the gym, and I was afraid to go to the gym because I lost so much weight. I didn't want nobody to see me because I didn't want anything getting out that I looked like crap. But I had to learn how to bench press just with the bar.
What?
Like this. Yeah, I had to learn everything with a bar, and I couldn't even do 25 push-ups, man. I'll never forget it.
That was July?
So, yes, it's July.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And I had July, August. I had 3 months to get ready for the Mr Olympia. I had a contract with Joe Weider. Link Congrade told me, if you don't make it to the stage and you don't honor your contract, you're not going to have a contract.
No.
So I tried to hide everything.
Thing is, Kevin, this was after this was probably one of the best rookie years ever. You won the New York Night of Champions. You came second at the Olympia in your less than a year after turning pro. So you were just about the hottest property at that time, and then in February you snap your pec. I mean, I can't even imagine how that felt.
And when the word got out, because, you got to think, there was never, ever a bodybuilder that came back and had a career after that.
No, they didn't.
It just didn't happen. A few of them tried, but they were deformed and the muscle didn't look the same. And they were done. Barry DeMay, he had an injury. I remember talking to Richie. Richie had tore his chest, and they were never the same anymore.
No.
I came back I had, by the grace of God, I don't even know what happened. All I know is I started eating.
Yeah.
And it was all in my mind, right? I was like, I have an opportunity to change the perspective and to do something that no bodybuilder had never, ever done. So either I could quit and give up, or I could move forward and believe in myself, visualize, and take advantage of this, right? And I always tell people this all the time to this day.
You turned it around.
You know,
completely.
when you think your life, when you think your life was falling apart, it's actually falling into place, right? So I said, if it's going to be, then it's up to me.
Yeah.
Bad times don't last forever. As long as you never quit, never give up, you'll never lose.
Yeah.
So I started getting all this mental mindset, you know, praying to God and just searching, eating properly. I made adjustments in my nutrition. I went to the gym. I monitored everything. I rest. I would sleep 10 hours a day.
Just
so
to recover.
that my body could heal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just started coming. Things started happening, right? I had 3 months to get ready and to gain looking like a bodybuilder from, you know, looking like nothing. I had to get back to one of the best bodybuilders in the world. How was I going to do that? It was all mine. It was all mine.
Thing is, Kevin.
And I did that in 3 months. And I went and I competed and I got 5th, right?
Yeah. Big. You look big.
Check this out. I got 5th. Then and then Arnold says, I want you to come to the Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
So he invited me to the Arnold Classic, and I said, you know what? If I can do this in 3 months, if I got 6 months from now to train for the Arnold Classic, oh my God, I'll be ready and I can win. So I said, okay, I'm going to do your show. And I went and I won the Arnold Classic. And at that point, I brought my doctor, Kevin Levrone.
Yeah.
And all the photos from the surgery and proved to the world that this guy blew his chest completely out, pectoralis major minor, snapped tendon in half. It was a major surgery.
Yeah.
He was out. From that moment on, you know what I realized?
What?
I realized that I did not need to train all year round to prepare for a bodybuilding competition.
This is exactly what I was leading on to, because we call it in the industry. It's a well-known phrase, doing a Levrone. Like going from 210 pounds soft to 250 shredded. You did that. So was it because of that pec tear and because of what happened in 93 why you did that every year?
It was only because of that reason.
Oh, right. Okay.
That was the birth of what God, the path that God wanted me to be on.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe that if I had never went through that, I would have never had a career probably so long, because I would have trained all year round, burnt myself out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I knew at that point, I said, as long as I'm healthy, I can train 3 months, completely transform my body into something that's at the top level of the world, and that's all the time I need. And that's why I did it, man. That's the only reason why I did it.
Yeah, but I always struggled with because I remember every single year you would do that. You'd downsize, and then people would see you looking kind of downsized, and they'd be like, oh, we've heard he's partying, he's doing this, he's playing in his band, he's making music, he's done with bodybuilding. Every single year, the people would say, oh, he's done, he ain't going to come back, he's given up, he's finished. But every single year, how many times did you do that? Another 10 times? Every single year?
My whole career.
Yeah, your whole career. That's how you did it. I mean,
13 years in a row, I would do that. But you see, they don't understand, because when I would get down like that, and then I knew I had that show coming, it would always remind me of where I needed to be mentally.
Yeah.
And how much focus that I needed to pile into those 3 months, 100%.
Yeah.
All out, right? And it just worked. It just worked for me every time.
And then yeah, sorry, go on. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you had Dorian Yates, that was a 365-day bodybuilder. But his career from his first pro show to his last pro show was 7 years. Yours was nearly double.
Yeah, 14 it was, yeah.
Do you think that's what gave you the longevity?
Oh, definitely. Right to this day, I contribute that. If it wasn't for that moment of happening in my life, that I don't think that the world would have seen the, global Kevin Levrone that ended up coming from that, moment of tragedy, that injury, is what set me on another whole path to find what works best for me. You know, that's why I always tell people, find out what works best for you. You know, when you think things are falling apart, it actually can be falling into place. You have to trust your decisions, because at that moment, if I had to just believe that I was done, I would have been done. You know,
it gave you resilience. It gave you resilience.
Yes, seize that moment, seize that opportunity. You know, because like I said, you know, there's a reason why every single thing happened, right? We just got to look at it as an opportunity that you're gonna make adjustments, because you got an opportunity now to change something, to do something that has never been done before, right? And are you going to move forward like a real man would do, or are you going to quit and give up? So for me, I chose to move forward. I built my whole entire career on wrapped around that injury. You know, I won 18, 19, 21, too. I won 18 shows. You know, after that injury. You know, 18. No, I won 20. 20 shows after my injury.
Wow.
You know, and another thing I want to say is, you know, the reason why I have such a European fan base, you know, for me is because 4 of my shows, 2 Arnold Classic was one in America, Night of Champions was one in America, and 2 San Francisco Pro shows. I only won 6 shows in America.
The rest
of my shows that I've ever won has always been in Spain, Italy, Germany, France, Russia, Holland, Czechoslovakia, England.
All the rest of the world.
The rest of the world. So that's why when I started Levrone Signature Series, I said, you know, I have such a, you know, boots on the ground and fans over there. That's where I need to go. That's my home away from home.
That's your stronghold now. Your stronghold, because you that's where your career was born. And another thing, Kevin, you won arguably the greatest ever Arnold Classic lineup at 1996. That arguably, I've had this conversation with Phil Heath, because he said 2010 was a very strong one. But honestly, I think the 1996. Go back and look at the footage and the results, and look at the names. There was Flex Wheeler, Sean Ray, Paul Dillette. You won that one. Vince Taylor, of course. Vince Taylor, our good friend Vince Taylor. You know, Jean-Pierre Fuchs. I mean, it was just Chris Cormier. It was an absolutely.
Was NASA there?
NASA wasn't there that year, no. But it was such a stacked lineup, and everyone looked at their best, you know. And you won it. I mean, you and Flex Wheeler were.
Was Lee Priest there?
I don't remember.
I think Lee Priest might have been there too.
Lee was in '97. But was he there? I can't remember. He wasn't in the top 6. But I mean, that was the year, like Sean Ray, because he'd only ever done the last Arnold Classic he did was in '91 when he won it. So you had a returning champion. You had the 1992 returning champion Vince Taylor. And then you had Flex Wheeler, who won it in '93. So you beat 3 Arnold Classic champions, and it was just, I mean, that really would you consider that to be your greatest win?
You know, every win for me was great. God, I mean, they all was just so many great memories, man, of every single time I stepped on stage.
Yeah.
Because these guys were so great. I mean, Vince Taylor, you know, what he brought, he was such a showman. You know, Flex Wheeler, what classy lines that he brought. You know, Flex Wheeler would show up. He didn't even need to be 100% in shape. Yeah. And he just was still, you know, would win and beat all of us. And
you've just mentioned, well, and Sean Ray as well, you've mentioned some of the greatest bodybuilding posers of all time there, including yourself.
Yeah. You know, Sean Ray, I mean, one of the greatest presentations and complete packages ever.
Yep.
We've never seen Sean Ray show up out of shape. Yeah. Never. I mean, just dangerous, right?
Yeah.
From
200 pounds.
Prejudging to the compulsories, to his physique, to the presentation, to the routine of the posing. Yeah. There was just no room for you to get in and to find a weakness on him. Yeah. Nowhere. And then whatever Sean didn't have or whatever Sean had, you got Chris Cormier. And this is what I always said about our era. It was so deep far as running because you got Sean Ray. Well, you make it around Sean Ray, you got to get to Chris Cormier.
Yep.
The real deal right there. Chris it's hard to even make it through him.
Yeah.
You make it through him. Who you got sitting there waiting right there? You got Flex Wheeler. You got to get around Flex Wheeler, who is just a phenomenal freak. And then you make it around Flex. And then you got to come to me, who's, the mass with the class and has everything that they have.
Yeah.
So there was like no room nowhere to it's just insanity.
What a mind-blowing era.
On top of genetics, on top of genetics. And then you got Vince Taylor, the greatest performer of all time. I mean, come on, man.
And do you know what? I said this to Vince actually a few weeks ago when he came on, and I said, it was you, Kevin Levrone, and Vince Taylor that were the real, I felt like, it's like I've been to, my ex-girlfriend, I used to go to contemporary dance things and watching, and it's a performance. It's not just people. What I'm saying is your posing routines were immersive. They were artistic, your facial expressions, your hands, it's like your whole body and mind was all kind of come together as one, if that makes sense, rather than a guy moving his arms and legs, hitting poses, and they're just trying to remember their poses. You were could, sometimes you'd pose and you'd be engaging with the audience and you'd be looking at the audience and you'd feel like you were looking at you. And other times, I remember 2001, I was at that Olympia and you were posing with your eyes shut. And it's you were totally, it was such it really draws you. Do you remember the 2001 Olympia video? You actually watch it and you watch Betty Weider's face when she watches you pose.
Yeah,
She's
that was
totally transfixed.
Would you dance if I asked you to dance?
After 9/11, wasn't it?
Would you run and never look back?
Yeah.
Or would you cry? You saw me crying. Would you save my soul tonight? I remember that. I
can be your hero, baby.
I said, look, put that song on, man. I'm going to use this song. Yeah. And I just knew the song. But let me tell you, I have never practiced a posing routine in my life.
No, come on.
Never.
No.
I have always made my routines up when I heard that music, when I saw that crowd, and I see that crowd, and I would start moving, and I would just see the crowd, and I would react to the crowd through my posing. Man. Yes.
I remember that.
I'll put it together.
I remember that 2002 routine, and the music built up, and then you hit your signature side most muscular. I remember just everyone, the audience, just going crazy because it was such a good memory, Kevin. Kevin. Can we get you back for a part 2, mate? Please. Of
course, man. Of course, this is great, man. Yeah.
Kevin, honestly, because I want to talk about, there's so much I want to talk about. I want to talk about the comeback. I want to talk about our night in Vegas in 2010 when I kidnapped you and threw you into the limo. And I was making you vodka and cranberries and hitting poses with doing ab poses with.
I still have those photos.
Do you?
I still got those pictures.
And Zach Khan, you mean? Because my phone wouldn't work, and you and Zach Khan were hitting poses next to each other. It was like, and I remember I
thought to myself, I said, "Is this the kid that I saw in England?"
Yeah.
He came to U.S. Now he's a madman. He's successful. He's rich, and now he's crazy. I remember that. You had the limo. You had it all, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I said, guys, look who I've got. And they went, and everyone's faces just were like, holy shit. And then you started singing. We got in the limo on the way to the Wynn Hotel for the after party. Dorian was there. Good to shake up.
Be careful.
And you started singing. Yeah. And you started singing.
Oh yeah.
You started singing, and I was just like, guys, this is a night to remember. So I think we'll talk about this in part 2 because that was a really it's just so many great memories, mate. You've given me as a fan, as a media guy, so many great memories over the year, 28 years. And mate, we've got to get you back for part 2 because mate, we've probably covered 5% of what we could talk about. And I thank you so much, Kevin.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, you're welcome, man. Thank you for having me. I got some great stories, man. Part 2, we'll talk about how I lost my visa, how I lost my passport, how I lost all of my plane tickets on tour. I just flew in and I just had won a show, and for some reason flew to the next city. We'll talk about this on next too. And I get to the hotel and I leave $7,000 in a briefcase with my passport and all of my plane tickets, and the taxi takes off.
Oh no!
And I'm stuck. And I think I'm in the Ukraine.
Okay.
Over there somewhere with no passport, no visa.
Oh my God.
No nothing, no ID or nothing. Yeah. Last night there, all the rest of the guys was leaving, going on to the next city, and I couldn't do anything.
Kevin,
and this was a Friday.
Kevin, one final thing. This might freak you out.
It's crazy.
1994. Remember that day after because you and me went to and my friend went to a vegetarian restaurant. I'll talk about that next part. And we went to this place where they sold, because you like your Italian sculptures. Yeah. Do you remember? Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I love my art. People always like, well, what are those pictures?
Yeah.
Well, what's this? Like I would go on the tours. Yeah. But finish what you're saying.
I got Kevin. 1 second. I've got to. And I remember because I remember you nearly bought a piece, but I remember it was you were talking about shipping. It was Giuseppe Armani. That was the name of the sculptor. Yes. Yeah. Giuseppe Armani. Uh-huh. You nearly bought a piece. Actually, did you buy the piece?
Actually, I did buy it. Yes.
Okay.
I brought it.
How's that from memory?
And I shipped it back to U.S. Yes, man.
Giuseppe Armani.
And that was the cool thing because I would go on tour over there. And, I would get pieces, some nice pieces from these countries where I would go to. But, yeah, man, I was in the art. I'm still in the art.
Kevin, I remember you were in the shop and you had these big sort of baggy jeans that obviously fit your quads in. And you had this, like, really tight, long-sleeved, and it was an American flag, this top. And I remember you were stood there and you were flexing your shoulder and it was jumping like people's chest. The bodybuilders that do that with their chest.
Yeah.
You were doing it with your shoulder. And I was like, I've never seen that before. And I'm probably never going to see that again. So, Kevin, we've got to save these stories, mate. We've got to save these stories. But
dude.
Thank you so much. And I can't wait to get you back for part 2.
Thank you, man. I'm so proud of you, man, again.
Thank you.
And thanks to all the fans over there.
Yeah.
And the UK. Matter of fact, thank you guys so much for having the Levrone Signature Series over in UK. You can get the products at all of the vitamin shops over there. Carl's my guy on the ground over there. You guys are my home away from home, so thank you very much, man. And it's been an honor speaking to you.
Carlene, the producer, wants to try El Shaboom pre-workout.
Yes.
That's right.
Kevin Levrone, we'll see you very soon for part 2, mate.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Kevin. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On The Rise Media Studios with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And back for part 2, we have the real deal, Chris Cormier. Yay!
Yeah.
Chris, I had...
How's it going, man?
Really good, mate. I had to get you back. Mate, the response on part 1 was amazing. People loved it, mate.
Thank you. That's awesome. I'm glad.
They loved it. And also, like I said... We said off camera, I said that the response to that Ricky Hatton story when you turned up, that was because Kerry Kays has told me that story before, and he says when he tells it, he thinks people don't believe him.
Yeah, because it's kind of unbelievable. I'm sure it wouldn't be able to work right now.
Yeah.
But back then, I don't know how it worked, but it worked. And he was really surprised to see me. I think he thought I wasn't even coming.
Yeah.
And like I said, we couldn't just text each other at the time, so I just showed up, and he was super rapt about seeing me. He was just like, you just light up, just look on his face was like he was just so surprised.
So just to give a little recap, Chris. Basically, you were supposed to come over for Kerry Kays for what was the reason you were coming over for anyway? Was it?
I was coming to guest pose.
Right. You're coming to guest pose. You missed your flight, so you got another flight. You didn't text him, and then you managed to get into one of like the biggest fights in the world at that time, the Ricky Hatton fight, with no ticket. And you got ringside, wasn't it?
Ringside seat, and I mean, to his credit, I just mentioned Kerry's name, and they just like come with me, like that. I was like, okay, so that's all it took.
So obviously, with you being in LA, you're in a bit of one of the hot spots of because obviously we've seen on Instagram and obviously on the news, there's been a lot of rioting and everything like that. How have you been affected or?
Just when I see things are getting pretty hairy, I just try to get to a place where you're not going to be affected. 'Cause I don't want to be in the middle of that stuff. That's but it's just 10 minutes from where I'm at. They're doing a lot of looting, and you can hear helicopters all night.
Really?
Looking for people. I was sure that, it's and then the fires and stuff is only like a couple blocks away. This big fire that they had.
Yeah.
So, I had like an hour yesterday when I first got the notice they're gonna have a lockdown at 8:00.
Curfew.
Like if you're on the streets, you can get arrested. So everyone started closing down the restaurants and everything like right away. So you got like a text message on all your phones in the area, and you're almost like an Amber Alert, and you have like in less than an hour to do what you're gonna do and get indoors.
That's crazy. That's crack. It's like a curfew, literally like a curfew.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I remember being in the gym back in, was it 1995 when the Rodney King thing happened? And I remember LA being really bad for the riots. And I remember reading, probably would have been in one of the magazines at the time, and they were saying that one of the safest places where people of different race weren't kind of at each other was actually in the gyms. That was kind of like a safe haven, like a kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like where everyone was kind of safe. Do you remember that? 95.
Oh yeah, I was here working at Roxbury at the time when that happened. So myself and my training partner Rico, we were still driving around, going trying to live as regular as possible, even though they had a pretty serious lockdown at the time, a curfew. But I was seeing people jumping out of the windows of places and stuff like that, and it's just people get pretty upset when you do something so outlandish, with another human being. So I understand.
Yeah. No, I think thing is you've got the combination of the fact with the virus situation where everything's like a bit of a powder keg anyway. Everything's everyone's tense, everyone's affected, everyone's stressed out, everyone's uncertain. And then you've got something like that where it was filmed and then it's gone out, and obviously the reaction from all human beings, regardless of your race. I mean, everyone is just going to be absolutely disgusted by it. So I can like you said, I can understand why the riots are happening now. It's not hard to really understand how, because people feel they have to react.
I think it's the worst thing is people was actually, locked up basically more than they are used to. Yeah. So when this all happened on top of that, also it was like a bigger reaction, I believe. Bigger reaction.
Yeah. Well, let's get on to some more happy subjects. I've just what was it? Less than an hour ago, was it, Kaleem? We had someone on talking about you, mate. One of your old friends. Mr. Levrone. Right. Mr. Levrone.
Oh yeah. That's my dog.
Yeah.
Dog for life.
Yeah. No, he was talking all about the old. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, he's we've been on tour so many times together, and every time it'd be a hard tour. It wasn't easy to do that stuff, and different times we had different situations where tempers flared or someone's on the plane ready to kill each other over something stupid, over a bag or I don't know. Yeah. I remember one time was it Aaron Baker and Paul Gillette almost got into it right on the airplane.
I bet that was
pretty hairy.
I bet that was 96, was it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we had some good times though. I remember even in the UK we almost got in a fight with a bunch of street bums that was out there. Me and Kevin was trying to race. We're trying to run a 40-yard dash. for $3,000 for the winner.
Really?
And they didn't want to move out of the way. Yeah. We actually raced, but Kevin cheated, so he took off before me.
Kevin Levrone cheated at a race.
He cheated.
So he set up before. So who was faster?
Well, I think I was faster because I caught him before we got to the end.
Yeah.
So we basically tied, but the only thing is we had a couple more shows to do, and I pulled both of my hamstrings when I started to slow down from the running.
Okay.
So that was I was indoors trying to ice my hamstrings and wasn't able to contract them the rest of the tour. So thanks to Kevin, I had to take off fast.
Do you know what, Carleen? Chris Cormier is one of the only guys who can see his hamstrings from the front. What? Seriously, his hamstrings were that thick. You could see his hamstrings from the front. That's
from the front pose, yeah.
Yeah, you could see them in the silhouette. You'd see the inner thigh, and then there'd be like this.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
That's pretty good. That's pretty awesome to remember that, because that was one thing I prided myself on was the ability to do that. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and also I was watching in your documentary Roelly Winklaar, because he's also in this episode. Roelly, because Roelly told me off for saying his name wrong for the last few years. So you helped him with his posing. When was that? What? Tell us about that.
Well, when I was out there in Kuwait for Oxygen Gym, Beta Badai would appoint some people that he wanted me to work with outside of my Camp Cormiers that I would have that I would hold out there, the camps. So I was actually roommating with him at one of my trips out there. And he was excited to get started. You know, that's the one thing I like about Roelly. He's a hard-working guy, and he does not mind rolling his sleeves up and really getting down dirty with it. I mean, he was like, let's just do this. But I'm not a super early morning person. But he would get up. That's when he did his cardio. So I had to actually get up between 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning to do his posing. So that right there, sometimes he would call me. He's already in the gym, been doing cardio or something like that, and then I just pop on over from just next door with the apartments. Yeah. So most of our training, our posing was then, and then if there's some body part that I thought he needed extra attention to, just from judging from the posing, I would then try to give him like an exercise or so to maybe pay attention to, and that way, you know, he improved a couple of different little areas of his body.
Okay.
You know, and it helps, and it just goes hand in hand with the posing, you know. So to hit this shot, this muscle part should be a little bit more developed, so you can really you know, look your best in that posing, in that pose.
It's interesting.
So we worked, you know, many times. I got up, did that, and I had a hell of a day after that, because I had sometimes I had Nathan D'Asher right after him. Okay. And like I said before, sometimes I would have them pose together. That's when I liked it the most.
Okay. What years were you out in Kuwait, and for how long, and how did it come about?
Well, I met the Bader. I met him at the Arnold Classic maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. Right when everything was super, you know, people were really curious about the place. Yeah. That's when I was out there. So it's been about 3 or 4 years ago. 16, 17 area like that. So I was doing like I said, hey, I want to go visit your gym and this and that. And he said, let's talk about it. Let's go to dinner tonight and let's meet up and talk about it. So I just told him about the different things I like to do and different things that I felt I was good at and probably could help his team, and along with also do a seminar out there and see how it goes. Maybe help some of the guys that you have currently working with your team. So it worked out well. He brought me out, got me an apartment there, food and everything like that. Did my seminar, it went really well. And at the same time, I worked with a couple of guys from the team, and then he wanted me to work with Ronnie. That one year he took second.
Yeah,
I was actually going to Ronnie's house most of the days, helping him with his posing, actually at his house.
I didn't know this.
And then we'd have a training session. Yeah, I had a training session that day. But I felt that was one of the best looks he had.
2017, that was 2017.
To date. Yeah. And I thought he was very, very close to winning the whole thing. So, but as far as Roelly, that he did go on to win a show. He won the Arnold Classic in Australia. Yep. Which he, it's actually in the video. Him thanking me for my help with the posing and so on. And he felt that was the reason why he looked his absolute best, because the poses really brought his body out the best as he's ever looked. Yeah.
I remember going out to see Roelly when he was in Rotterdam with Sybil back 2010, 2011, and she really struggled with Roelly with his posing, because for many years she said he would practice like half an hour a day. She said, but when he got up on stage, like adrenaline just kind of overtook him, and he'd forget everything that he'd learned. She said she said it was very frustrating, because he'd get up there and he'd start hunching over in his most musculars, and he wouldn't be getting his lats out. And she said it drove her crazy. Did you have the same experience?
Oh yeah, I actually met him out there in Amsterdam. That's where I first met Roelly.
Oh, okay.
I saw him train. Yeah, so I used to go out there with Munder back in the day. Rest his soul. And we've been cool a long time, man. But it was really it was an honor for me to help him in different parts of his career. It was awesome.
How does Oxygen compare to Gold's Gym Venice?
There's no comparison, man.
Why? Why?
Well, just because, as we know, bodybuilding is the thing to do out there. If you're going to be somewhere on a daily basis, it's probably going to be the gym or the cafe that's connected to, and they all have their own cafe. Even the bathrooms have a bathroom attendant in there to clean it as you use it. They'll clean it before you use it, after you use it.
Wow. Okay.
And that's their job. That one. Then they have people that's going around putting the weights back as people are leaving them. And when you go from machine to machine, you just go to the next machine, and then sometimes you could switch over. But they have people that just take yourself off of there. And then they have, like I said, in the cafe is where they. You just come right down the stairs and order your food, and you're eating 3 minutes later.
Wow. Obviously, all clean food as well.
Yeah, all organic food, and then they have the pro shop there. They have he's big on the trainers actually. They get a percentage of sales from the when they get a client that wants nutrition, they let them know who the coach is, and then so he gives a lot back to people who are actually working, and he don't charge for the trainer to do his business in his business. So it's almost like your own little gym, but it actually has 4 stories, and it has the massage room, has the cold plunge, the jacuzzi, the Olympic-sized swimming pool, places where you can get some sun outside. Then they have different gyms. It's like 4 or 5. It's like 5 gyms right there in Kuwait already. Okay. It's not just one gym. People don't realize that.
Yeah. Have you been to the new one, the huge one they built?
I didn't go to the new one yet because I was actually planning to do a camp out there when this whole thing happened, so I was going to see it. But I was seeing it as it was getting built. But it's been, in the works for a while. But it's pretty immaculate. I've been to the latest one that a lot of people have seen, but the other one that's like right by the big, huge mall, I haven't seen that one. The finishing touches on that one.
Did you enjoy it out there? So how long would you go out there for then? And did you enjoy it?
I've done close to 3 months out there before.
Okay.
I've done 8 months. I enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed it because I'm doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
My passion is still very strong to help the next generation to come up better and understand, what the work should be all about. And I'm more old schoolish when it comes to that. I'm not like a, take this and take that type of guy. I'm more like a physical working guy. So I think that's a better look for what a concrete look for what the human body is all about. So it just goes hand, and it's great food. The lamb is excellent.
The lamb was it?
I went, and I do all the traditional eating style. I've been laying on the floor with the whole, using your hand thing, done all that. So it's, I thought it was a great experience, and I spent a lot of time with Mr. Budai on a personal level. So we had a great time out there. Had my 50th birthday out there in the desert. So
oh wow, okay.
There you go.
So when you're with Sergio and Nathan and Rami and all these other guys that you're with, do you train with them or do you just train them?
Sometimes I like to think that I'm gonna work out with them, but most of the time, maybe 10% of the time. But I'm mostly like I'm mostly like really into what I'm doing. And I would like when they're doing a lighter stuff, I do some cardio with them or something like that, or just a little light stuff, maybe the abs and stuff like that. But I try to get into some type of thing when I'm in a camp style like that. Okay.
Here's a question. Who do you think will go further in bodybuilding, Nathan Diasher or Sergio Oliva Jr.? It's a tough one, isn't it?
Further.
It's a tough one.
Here's the thing. They're two highly passionate guys, and I think they both know the importance of keeping their passion strong. Yeah. So it's I think it's going to come down to who's staying the healthiest and who's which, like I say, you pick two people that's much alike and not I'm able to push both of those guys, and they don't break from me just trying to push them. So it's just a hard question, but they're very, very similar as far as their passion for the sport. So that's a hard one to answer.
Because Nathan's been around Nathan hit the scene in 2016. Sergio hit the scene in 2017. Sergio kind of a little bit of, but he's back on it now, and he's kind of moving back up. And Nathan's, it'd be interesting to see, because obviously those two guys, I mean, they are literally top 6 Olympia material. I mean, Sergio certainly with what he produced at the Arnold Classic this year. Nathan's been 7th, so there's two guys that are really the next generation, aren't they?
Yeah, but like I say, the two guys that you tell them that's what you need to do, you can probably consider it's going to be done in that manner. So it's I think, like you say, but they had different spurts where they really shown that they have a flash of greatness. So and that's the thing. But in the bodybuilding career, you can pick and choose some good shows that people or made that made the statement in their career. I had a 99. Dorian had a 93. Had a 92, 93, and even a 91. Even that was his strongest year. You could pick and choose maybe a good 3 times. You got Flex Wheeler had 93, and then Flex Wheeler had a 97. But it wasn't like just keep going. But you could pick at least 3 shows out of that person's career where they're going to really flash some greatness.
Do you know what? You've got Kevin Levrone, who turned pro in 91 and then hit the ground running literally in 92 with a 2nd place at Olympia, New York Night of Champions it was then. You have Flex Wheeler that turned pro at the USA's in 92, took the, to second at the Olympia, won the Arnold Classic, the Ironman in 93. And then you had yourself that turned pro at the 93 USA's. And then you went straight in and got top 6 at the 1994 Olympia. It just, those days, man. Ronnie was a bit slower to start, but then he kind of obviously picked up momentum. But it's like, do you think we'll ever see that again, where you see someone literally coming out of the gate that strong?
Oh man! See, the thing is with Kevin, he was like a phenomenon. He was like, he came from the very, very bottom, from maybe powerlifting to his first local show to a national show. I think the Junior Nationals.
That's right.
We had a little ponytail in the back.
Did he? I don't remember that. I remember a ponytail.
Yeah. Hair slicked back,
Yeah.
But then the thing that a lot of people don't really understand and know about Kevin is he came from that to winning his pro card to winning pro shows and then second in Olympia, like all in that that time that he actually started.
Yeah.
So you just started out being second in the world as a rookie. That's I don't think that's going to be done like that,
And Flex Wheeler with what he did as well.
Flex, man. See, I was his training partner, so it was just like to see all of that.
Yeah.
I was living it too, So we all took third. We all won the Arnold Classic at that time. Myself and Rico McClin, we won that show too. So
right.
It just it felt like it was just part of something special. We just didn't know how special it was.
I can't remember where you qualified for the 94 Olympia. Where did you qualify in 94? What was your pro debut in 94?
Well, I went against Vince Taylor and Aaron Baker, and I was standing next to what's his name?
Your pro debut. That's lucky.
Berto Fox. I'm standing next to Berto Fox.
What was that? The Ironman or?
I'm like, holy shit! Berto Fox.
Wow.
I'm standing next to Berto Fox, and I'm like, oh my god! And then he was crowding me out, and they have no room, so he was just like, give me the old rookie elbow thing. And then I was like, and I just stepped back. I was like, I'm not gonna mess with Berto Fox, right? So when they called Vince Taylor first and me second for the first call out, I was like, excuse me.
yeah. Oh, I love it.
Berto, they calling me, excuse me.
Oh, but that was a nice,
So I took second in my first pro Ironman.
Yeah.
And then I went straight to the Arnold Classic and I took fourth. That's when that show was really weird because that's the first time I really got gassed. On the stage, I really got tested with how many call-outs, and that was different from the amateurs. So that was my. So I actually threw up.
Oh, really?
From exertion, right there on the stage, but I didn't let it out. I just caught it in my mouth and I swallowed it back again because I didn't want to. I didn't want to get kicked out of the show for not being well.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had to make a business decision and make that happen. So that, but I took fourth, and then I won 15 grand that I actually needed at the time.
Yeah.
So it all worked out well, and then from there I went on to the Olympia and taking sixth.
And you didn't wait, because in those days the guys were so good, like yourself, Kevin, Flex, but you didn't waste any time. You turned pro the year before, and nowadays you hear guys taking 2-3 years off before they make their pro debut, but you guys were doing it in the most competitive era of all, and straight away you were making a splash. That just shows the talent that you guys had and the hard work you put in.
Yeah, and plus I was getting ready by some of the best guys you ever heard of. Robbie Robinson. I had Gary Stridham, like I said before, in my life. So these guys spent a lot of personal time with me, telling me what I need to expect, what I need to do, what my mindset need to be to make that transition into that situation. But I was getting ready to be a pro long before I turned pro.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, so I was getting ready to make that. When I made my mind up, this is what I wanted to do. I just did everything I could and learned, and I went all out for it to make it happen.
Now, you're one guy that's known, obviously, with your Arnold Classic second places. I mean, that's like kind of like Jay Cutler. Sorry to bring it up, but Colleen, this guy has had more second place at the Arnold Classic. He's come so close so many times. It's like like Kevin and Flex with Olympia. If they just given him one. I
know, right? Come on, man. Actually, I thought they were joking when I was a couple of those times. I thought they were joking. Really? And it was like jokes on me because it was a real thing. But I'm just watching the judges, and I'm like looking for any type of human reaction that's going to give me a lead on some kind of understanding about what's going to happen. And one time I was just staring down Jim Mannion. And he was looking as long as he could, and then he just dropped his head like. Oh
really? Not again. Like sorry, mate.
But
sorry again.
If I didn't see that, I would have acted a complete fool on the stage.
Really?
Even my reaction when I saw that, I went like, when they called me for a second, I went like, oh, I'm done. I just couldn't. It's not that I tried to do that. That was just my body's reaction to what I was hearing, because I thought that was the time I really had it in the bag, and I thought Jay had tried to come in leaner, more definition.
Chris, can I interject here? This was 2003, wasn't it? You're talking about.
04, I think.
Oh, 04, because that was when he came a little bit downsized, wasn't it? Because he looked great.
Yeah.
No, that was when he came great at the Ironman, and you came in it like perfect. You looked nice and full and hard, and that. I thought it was 2003 because that was the year he did the Ironman, but he kind of over dieted. He over dieted, didn't he?
But I did in 03.
I'm sure it was 03.
Yeah, I did in 03 because then I took second again to Dexter for the first time. Dexter beat me in 05 for the first time.
Okay.
So I didn't expect that to happen either. So I was just like, okay, you guys don't want me to win this shot. I wanted it so bad too. That's the thing. I really, really wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted one of those trucks. I wanted one of those watches. I wanted $100,000 paycheck. I wanted all of that. But I was getting half of that. And then I didn't understand if it was like I was blowing my wad at the Ironman the week before.
Yeah.
So I kind of just put that on the shelf, and I went to the Ironman. I actually invited Dexter out to come in to do it. Because I said, hey, Dexter, I'm not doing the show, man. He said, you lying. I said, no, I'm going to be in the audience. I'm just going to do next week. He said, really? I said, yeah. So he came out. I don't think he even remembered it, but it happened that way. But it did happen that way.
Okay.
And I was in the audience with tears in my eyes because I was like, what the hell am I doing? Letting $10,000 go away.
Yeah.
It's like right there in my backyard. I had, I won the 4 previous Ironman championships, and I should have just went for more. Then I'm like, I could have had a better resume. I could have had. That's like a lot of these guys letting shows go by. They're gonna regret it one day that they could have done a show and they didn't do it. So,
I always think Jay
compete, guys.
Yeah, I think Jay missed an opportunity at the 2002 Olympia. I think he really missed his opportunity to really, because I know he wasn't happy about losing the Olympia in 2001, but I think Ronnie still had that one. But he decided to just do Arnold Classics, didn't he, for the next 3 years? Just win Arnold Classics. I think that was a year Ronnie came in a bit smaller, and I think if he'd have brought his A game, I honestly think he could have beaten him that year.
Man, I tell you one time that I didn't do the Olympia and I regretted it so bad was year 2000. Just after my 99, I was on a tour in Mexico.
Right.
And I ended up going into having a seizure.
Oh shit.
Over there. Yeah. So I didn't know at the time that if you took too much growth hormone that you can affect your blood sugar levels.
Yes.
So,
yes, you can.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
If you read the small print, you better fucking understand. That's when I try to tell people and teach the younger generations that is not the way to go. More is not better, and it's gonna probably hurt you one day. and they don't understand until they experience that. But that's not the way to go. So I had a seizure.
Yeah.
I woke up with like $7,000 lighter in my pocket.
How come?
And yeah, because I was working. I did like 12 seminars.
Okay.
And 12 guest poses all around Mexico. So I had like, 15 grand on me.
Oh.
But I woke up with like half of it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So anyway.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is don't take too much GH. That's the moral. That's what we can take away from this story.
I'm 2 months out from the Olympia. I was 82 pounds in Mexico. And I was, after that near-death experience, I just went to Cancun and, had a good time over there. And then I made my way back to America. But I was like, I didn't understand what was wrong with me. I didn't know. I couldn't figure it out till after the fact. But I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do the Olympia, But I was actually coming from my 99 experience to here's the follow-up.
Top 3.
And I was like, damn, dude, I was looking right. I'm telling you, it was looking right. And I was posing to a Gato Volador out there in Mexico and doing my whole thing. And I'm like, I left with no shirt on because I gave everything to all the fans in Mexico.
Literally, no shirt on.
And I went to, and then by the time I went back to Mexico, to America, I didn't compete. And I didn't compete. But Ronnie came around 280 pounds at that show at the Olympia. And I thought that was the easiest time to beat him because he had hardly anything going on in the hamstrings and the quad. He was a big dude, but it was like my physique would have tore that apart. And I knew that for a fact. So I'm sitting there in tears in the audience once again watching that I could have and should have would have won, and that would have killed all the people like, well, you didn't win because of this, you didn't win because of that. Yeah. And it was just it's timing of a perfect show, all of that, your body composition, how it looks. As opposed to, the other guys at that particular time in the world, I probably could have been the best in the world. Yeah. I think so.
Well, Dorian said it in your documentary. Ronnie Coleman said it in your documentary. They all said it. Go watch it. They all said it.
Yeah. Yeah. But then I think Ronnie caught wind of me talking about the pot that, I could beat him, and he wanted to do an Ironman, an Arnold Classic the next year after that.
Yep, 2001.
That was like 3 months. So we did have the same trainer. I'm not saying any monkey business went past from one trainer to the other guy. I was going to come in lighter because Ronnie was at 280. And they said the next time you see Ronnie, he was going to be 300. Remember, that was the going number for him. So when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm going to and I talked to Dorian about this, and Dorian's like, you need to come down lighter. He said, if you come down lighter, you're still going to look just as big. You're just going to be tighter, and you won't be able to tell that there's a difference of, the 5 pounds. I was always trying to add the extra 5 pounds on me. Yeah. So he didn't like me in the 250s. He said I should be in the 40s. Yeah. So lo and behold, Ronnie came in same weight as I was. So we were both 248 at that Arnold Classic. It was you, him, and I remember Dennis James looked really good because I remember Dennis James did a photo shoot with Ronnie, and like Ronnie was a little bit downside, but some people say that's his best condition of all time, the best look he ever had. That was the best.
Yeah, he just looked incredible. He looked freaky.
Thanks to me with that.
Thing is,
I shouldn't have said nothing.
Yeah.
But that tightened up his waist. That made that was such a good look for him. Yeah. And that's the same thing with Flex Wheeler. Flex was trying to come in too heavy, and I was always saying to myself, not to him, that I was like, man, if Flex don't need to be over 220 to just kill everybody.
I don't know. 220,
and his physique.
Well, what did he weigh in '98 at the Arnold?
He was bigger. He was.
I like that look.
Yeah. But that was, man, I saw him close up and I was like, whoa. Like, this was like the best combination of being tight and full.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember he was so hard for that show. It was nuts. I remember I went into his room before the show. And that was amazing. I seen the '92 when he turned pro at the USA. That was, at that time, that was the same thing, amazing. And then he just topped it all at the Arnold Classic. At the '93 Arnold Classic.
Now, I can imagine why you were feeling very confident in 2000, because that was the year you beat Flex Wheeler at the Pro Ironman, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. That was a show you could not lose. You couldn't lose that show. It wasn't the first time I beat him, because I beat him in the Olympia in '95, but that was after his.
He wasn't at his best, was he?
Car wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah, his car wreck, and but I'll take the win. But yeah. Each other, because I really wanted to beat him.
Yeah. Sorry, we lost.
I wanted to beat him every time. But it was just amazing. But I'm cheering the guy on still, even though I don't want him to beat me, but I'm still going to cheer him on during his workouts. And, actually even on the stage, as you've seen, when we compete, we still showed a lot of respect and love for each other,
Okay, Chris, another personal story I have. I was backstage at the 2002 Mr. Olympia. And I remember, because you were all the guys were in one main area, and you were by yourself in one of the corners, and I was literally stood right next to you. And I remember you took your top off, and I looked down and I thought, oh, he's not brought it this year. He doesn't look in good condition. So anyway, I walked off, and you stripped off completely, and I think you'd put some oil on and you pumped up. I'll be honest, Chris, I've never seen anyone transform like that. Because you got top 3 in that. Chris, no, seriously, you got 3rd place in that Olympia. And if you just, because when your body was relaxed, you didn't look in condition. And then I came back 20 minutes later and I think, what the hell has this guy done? Because he looks really, really good. I'll never forget that.
Right. Yeah, that was the type of physique I had, I think. Like, I'm not going to, if you're standing next to me, I'm just in the gym and, not even really pumped up. Whatever. I'm not gonna like blow you away with my attributes. But when I got on stage and when I got to pump up my body, and then even when I hit a pose, my body opens up into a different dynamic. Not some people are already at that dynamic. That's what I mentioned before. But sometimes when your body can open up, judges are gonna look at that like, man, that's a physique right there. So plus, I was happy. That was okay. It was when it all mattered. That's when I thought it was my most impressive look. So
plus,
I agree with you.
thing is, Chris, like one of your best poses is it's the first compulsory. It's the front double bicep. That's where your lats come out, and it just, like you said, everything opens up and everything pops. So that's a really good first pose to have. The good pose is the first pose you hit when you're called out in the compulsories. And thing is, like the one thing. Sorry, go on.
And the front relaxed. I think the front relaxed can be very powerful, because I was able to stand there like a soldier for a long period of time. So I was always like trying to understand how could I be the best on stage, and to master your stage presence, to master the stage generalship. I think that makes put you at a different level, even if you just have a certain amount of skill sets physically.
And another thing, which I think you've actually got in common with Dorian Yates, is you don't have a bad compulsory pose.
And it was, and the thing is, just worked on that for many, many years, with Robbie Robinson, and then as I started to train, I started to try to develop different areas of my body that's going to make these poses the best I can do. So the compulsory, I consider myself very, very challenging in the compulsory pose, and that's where we got most of our placings, and also the symmetry round, because we had the symmetry round that counted for points at the time. And normally Flex is going to probably be beating you in the symmetry round, and then depends on what kind of condition you are for the muscularity round. And then the posing round, pose around, we were all really going for it in pose around. So that was always something else that's how I did my competitions.
Yeah. Okay then, Chris. Well, I want a final question from my producer, Colin. He's dying to know what your favorite PlayStation games are.
Oh man, Call of Duty, probably Madden. Madden is number one.
What's it called?
I got down to Madden football. It's like so gridiron style football. It's a top game. I've been playing since 1992.
What?
That particular game. Yeah, I've been playing since they started. And I got to the top 600, top 500 guys in the world the last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been catching up during this quarantine time, catching up on my rankings. I'm still not good, right? I'm in the top 10,000 right now, but I'm trying to get it down. Trying to get it down like I did the last year. I was pretty good.
Yeah. Well,
Call of Duty is what I'm playing against also right now. Call of Duty.
Well, I can give you a fact. I'm officially the worst at Call of Duty, aren't I, Colin? Yeah. I can die. I can die when there's no other people around. That's how bad I am at Call of Duty.
Kevin Horton is pretty. Kevin Horton, he's good at that game.
Oh, he's good at Call of Duty because I know he said on a Thursday he said he has his ritual as his Diet Coke and he has his chicken and he says he's got a big screen and he said some of his best friends are people he's never met because they're gamers, online gamers,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure, man.
So
I was always known to bring my game with me when I competed. So
okay,
you're gonna ask some of these writers that would wait for me to finish my game so we could do the interview. Peter McGraw would tell you about that one. He was like, a few times they catch me in the middle of my game and they let me finish before we start the interview some of these shows.
Have you played Phil Heath at Call of Duty? Because apparently he said he told me he's very good.
No,
come on.
I haven't played him. I played Dexter Jackson in Madden back in the day, though.
Okay.
Dexter whipped me up. Dexter whipped me up pretty good.
Did he?
But
I didn't know Dexter was a gamer.
Oh yeah, I could pass first. His kids are better than him, but I could pass first. And he was a really good defensive back, so he was picking my ball off like crazy. So I was pretty pissed about that.
Well, good. On a Saturday when we're filming, sometimes in between guests, we do turn the studio into a gaming studio, and we're playing Uncharted at the moment. I'm really enjoying that. Really good game.
Oh, what is it?
Uncharted, really good.
Oh, Uncharted. Okay.
It's good.
Yeah, man, especially with the graphics nowadays, it made a whole other experience. I'm waiting for that PlayStation 5 to come out.
Oh wow,
that was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay then, Chris. Well, Colin was dying to. He was nagging me after the first part we did of your interview. He says, "Please ask him what games he likes." I said, "Okay, we'll ask him on there. We'll ask him on part 2." But Chris, thank you so much for coming on again, and appreciate you taking the time. And it's always a pleasure. And it's going to be a very, very good episode. This one, we've got you, Roelly Winklaar, and Kevin Levrone. So that's a very, very, very special episode.
Oh wow!
Yeah, the A-listers. The A-listers.
Appreciate you, bro. I've been looking forward to doing an interview with you also since you started coming on strong with the interviews, and so this is on my bucket list also. So thank you very much for that opportunity.
You're too kind, mate.
Yeah,
too kind.
Man.
No, it's my pleasure. My pleasure.
For sure.
Chris Cormier,
I'll
probably see you in Las Vegas, mate. See you at the bar.
See you in Las Vegas, bro. Later.
Thank you, Chris. Bye-bye, mate.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.